All right, guys. We're just starting in just a couple of minutes so that we can have everybody in. But thank you so much for all the attendees now. I can see like a good amount of people. Still waiting for the rest. So, okay, just 2 minutes and we're starting. Everybody, make sure you close your camera. Don't open it unless you're asked to. So, okay, thank you. All right, guys. So, first of all, thank you so much for joining. This event is mainly about artificial intelligence, as we mentioned like a couple of months ago when we started announcing that we are going to have an event about artificial intelligence. Well, that's the main scope of the day today. And I just want to introduce myself, a little bit about me. For those of you who are from Egypt, my name is Amr Hilal from Egypt. I graduated from mechanical engineering school, 10th of Ramadan. And, oh yeah, Mr. Robert. Yeah. So, yeah, I graduated from mechanical engineering school. I've been working in this field for over 3.5 or maybe 4 years now in the field of artificial intelligence. I have a startup. It's now a company called .py. It delivers artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep neural network courses to companies, to colleges, and also to individuals. Today we have a slightly different way of presenting artificial intelligence. It's not just going to be technical. We're not going to go through all the details of artificial intelligence like neural networks and machine learning and computer vision and all this stuff. We're going to cover all of these, but the main scope of today is that we want to touch upon every little detail of how artificial intelligence really impacted all the industries in the world. Maybe we're going to talk about the industry of freelancing. We're going to talk about the industry of investment. We're going to talk about the industry of quantum computing. And we have multiple speakers. Some of them are from Egypt, some of them are from Finland, and some of them are from the United States, and the rest are from Egypt. Most of the audience are from Egypt, so you feel free to ask questions in Arabic. You're allowed to ask questions whenever you want. You have 3 main options. The first option is that you could write your question in the chat over here in the meeting room. You could write your question in the WhatsApp group we created for all the attendees. And also you could write your questions in the live stream in .py. Here's the thing. We have over 1,000 participants in this event, not just from this live. This event is actually broadcasted across 25 student activities across the Middle East. And it's extraordinary because of the massive, like, I don't know what to say, but people are very interested and enthusiastic about getting to know artificial intelligence in a deeper way, not just the technical term, but also they want to find out about the market globally and locally. So this is what we're going to touch upon today with all the speakers we have. So allow me to introduce my co-hosts. The first co-host is, he has a bachelor degree in machine learning. He made his master's in natural language processing He's the founder of Silicon Arena company and also a product manager at Solfa in United Kingdom. And now he's working on a project with the government in Egypt. So please welcome the great MohammedShallan. If you could open the microphone and camera and say hi. Yes. I just want to make sure that your microphone is working. So can you say something?
Yes, my microphone, I think, is working good.
Yeah, it is working very well. I can hear you very well. So thank you so much, Mr. Shallan, for joining. Thank you so much. And yeah, we have the other co-host, and this co-host is actually he's kind of responsible for you guys. He's responsible for delivering all of the yeah, everything's good. No, we don't want it. It's okay. He's responsible for your questions. He's gonna take all your questions that you're gonna write down, whether it's in the chat or in the WhatsApp group or in the live stream on Facebook, across all the social media platforms, and he's gonna deliver it directly to the audience. So please, Mahmoud Zidan, please say hi.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. It's okay. So thank you so much. Okay. So the scope of the day, we're going to cover 5 main topics. The first topic is that we're going to talk about the shift in the market of artificial intelligence in multiple countries. We're going to talk about freelancing. We're going to talk about quantum computing. We're going to talk about generative AI and the rest of other things. So I'd like to make a special introduction about this speaker. So he's the leader of Newland Associate. He's an investor and partner of Bridgeton. And I mean, this company actually harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to deliver micro coaching, which we're going to talk about today. He's an investor in multiple companies. He's been doing startups and companies since he was 14 years old, which actually amazes me. So please welcome from the United States of America, the great Robert Newland. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning. Salam alaikum, everybody. Nice to be here.
Alaikum salam.
So yeah, so Robert, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I think it's your first time to be in a big event like this one in Egypt, right?
Well, I was hoping my first time would be in person, but it's going to have to be virtual. So yeah, happy to be here for sure.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Robert, for being here. And I mean, we would like to get the most out of you. We have a lot of attendees from all over the world. We have from Egypt, from Morocco, from Algeria, and also we have from Finland, we have from Amsterdam, and some from the United States. So we would like to first get to know you better. We have to, like all the attendees would like to know who's Robert Newland. So a little bit of you and a little bit of your history and success. So please go ahead.
So let's see. I guess we can talk a bit about my entrepreneurial background. I started, funnily enough, my first entrepreneurial endeavor was probably at age 14, just doing newspapers. I wasn't a year into it, and the next thing I know, I already had an employee. So I sort of knew that I wanted to probably just grow things, right? Not just do things on my own, but to grow things. Growing up, I wanted to be an inventor. I never thought I'd be, inventing businesses, if you will. Then I went into college. I got a degree in management, which has served me really well. I understand we have a lot of students here, right?
Yes, we do. We have, most of them are students, actually.
Great. Well, hey, don't just go to school, actually learn something. Because I can tell you
that's the thing that some of the students here try to convince their parents when they get bad degrees, so that look at Bill Gates and look at all the successful entrepreneurs, they haven't even finished their degrees. So
yeah, but they have not just incredible IQs, they were also very lucky with their timing. They also have tremendous discipline and drive. And they also, so you can't judge your future by the outliers. Not everybody gets to be an outlier, right? You have to put in the effort, and that means also getting an education. The first time around I went to college, I ended up dropping out. I was, in my brain, too smart for my teachers. They had nothing to teach me. So I ended up in Texas digging holes around electrical poles 12 hours a day. So I decided to go back to school and get a degree, and then I had a few jobs, working in retail. Then I worked for the government, auditing, compliance in human resources, which is where I got my start. I went back to school while I was, doing that kind of work, and then I dedicated myself to study management. So I learned accounting really well. I learned finance really well. I learned operations management really well. I learned marketing really well. And while working for the government, I decided that I wanted to go into consulting because I used to be an auditor of compliance in human resources laws. So, well, I could be a consultant in this space. And as I started my business at the age of 25, I think, I was able to actually put into practice that which I had learned in school. If I hadn't gone to the marketing class, the operations class, the accounting class, all those classes, there was all this knowledge, I was not going to be able to get, on my own. So that helped me. So I built a business around human resources consulting and recruiting. Along the way, I've been a bit of a serial entrepreneur. I've owned executive suite centers. I used to own a marketing company. I did outbound marketing for business-to-business appointment and lead generation services as well. I'm from Puerto Rico originally, and I understand that you speak Spanish self-taught, so I'm pretty impressed by that.
Really?
Sí, hablas español.
Sí, yo hablo español, pero nada.
That's amazing, man. English, Arabic, Spanish, you're special for sure.
Yo estaba aprendiendo español con mi tía.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I applaud you for that.
I mean, the attendees are going to get frustrated now, so we're going to keep it in English so that they don't.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, so I came to the United States about 20 years ago. I did a couple of years stint doing private equity work. So I was a hired gun for due diligence in private equity deals in the probably $20 to $250 million of revenue. Then I went back to my HR business, and I have continued in that space. More recently, I started getting into the tech side. Started investing in social enterprises, which are basically enterprises that have a social impact. We have an accelerator for social enterprises in Orlando, Florida. So we work with companies from Afghanistan, Canada, South America, Nigeria, all over the world that come to our accelerator.
Maybe in the future you could do Egypt in the future, maybe.
Hey, of course. And so anyway, so along the way, I got a bit more involved in tech, and as I got curious about tech, I started building an online marketplace called HR Frenzy, which was a marketplace where you can find HR freelancers that are doing human resources consulting. Well, that happened. AI came about.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing I wanted to touch upon because that's the main scope of today. We need to let our audience understand a bit more about artificial intelligence and everything. So the main topic we're going to talk about is the market shift. So I mean, you've been working since you were 14 years old. I guess it's not a long time ago, but yeah, it's considered with the time.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
that was 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So that's considered like the time where people did not know about artificial intelligence very well. Like, as we said, like electricity, when it was first introduced to people, they did not know anything about it. So there is a lot of changes that happened in the market because of the impact of artificial intelligence that happened. So walk me through your work experience and your investments in companies and your startups at the time where artificial intelligence wasn't there, and compared to the time that artificial intelligence is actually dominating the entire market now. So yeah, touch upon this.
Well, there is, I've invested in different types of organizations, but I invested in an organization that is a drone company. They actually use drones to take defibrillators to people that are having cardiac arrest. They're actually using AI. So I am an investor in that company. but I was also looking at, social companies, but they were not really to AI, for example. But even then, I'm also an investor in a company in Miami that uses 3D printing to print in concrete to do seawalls because of global warming and the rising of the oceans. It's fascinating. I'm also an investor in a company in Tampa that uses 3D printing to build furniture. So I'm seeing all these trends towards technology that is so accelerated that it just wasn't there before. I'm sure it won't be long before I'm also invested in companies that are doing robotics. I just haven't just yet, but that is what is for sure coming.
That could be the next step. Yeah.
And then I also invested earlier this year in a company called Pandatron, which is the one that leverages machine learning and large language modeling to do micro coaching, which is just fascinating to me. So there's clearly a big shift. And then when you look at, in my world of consulting, I'm able to see in human resources companies from many different industries. And I'm able to see how employees are being impacted positively and negatively, right? And we're seeing major shifts. For example, we're seeing this stuff you probably know. We've already seen a reduction in creatives in the industry. Okay. First, we saw in marketing and content marketing because AI is doing more of it. Now we're seeing creatives in art design as well. So it's not just the copy, but the artistic design. I can go to AI and say, build me a logo.
Yes.
Or paint me a picture of a Doberman.
That's something to look at from two perspectives. Actually, we have a topic today to cover. It's just the freelancing. So this is the topic we're going to talk about. But sometimes you look at this thing from two perspectives. The first perspective to look at is that artificial intelligence actually is a very, very helpful tool to help employees finish their jobs faster, to help them get it in a more effective way. But on the other hand, when you look at it, you will find out that actually the clients could do the things they ask the employees to do themselves without asking a company to do it for them. So it's actually reducing the market of being an employee in whatever subject. So from both perspectives, it's correct. So some people think that, artificial intelligence is going to take over the world, artificial intelligence is going to take my job, but we don't know the answer yet. So please, tell me about your opinion about this thing.
So let me go back to the 19th century. There was a French man who was in his house with his family, and there was a mob outside. They wanted to lynch him. They had torches with fires. They were angry at him. They wanted to kill him. They torched down his house, and he was able to escape to the back of the house, safe with his family. It was the man who created the first patent for the sewing machine in France. The people that were in front of his house upset, they were people that sewed by hand. Okay. So this has happened before. Yeah. The difference is this. If you look at the Industrial Revolution, it took a couple of decades. If you look at computing, it took a couple of decades. Even the internet took many years to grab hold. Smartphone technology took a while before it became mainstream. Yes. What is different with AI is the speed of adoption, right? And what it can do. We have never seen something other than that, Facebook threads, which sort of crashed and burned. Other than that, there's never been anything else with a faster speed of adoption. The practical uses of AI are incredible. So yes, it's a tool that helps you do your job, but also the speed of change is going to create a dynamic that is going to make a lot of people's current skills not very valuable very quickly. So I fear that unless we adapt quickly, unless we have this speed of sort of keeping up with the change, right? Many could be left behind. So I think that individuals, organizations, countries that step it up are going to be better off.
Sorry for interruption, but that's the thing. Me and Mr. Shallan, we were talking about this yesterday. We said that, don't learn things from scratch because artificial intelligence could do the hard work for you. But on the other hand, some people think that this may stop your mind from thinking. This may make you, I mean, you are just a user. So do you think that artificial intelligence is a trend and it's going to take a couple of days, a couple of years, and then everything's going to go down and people are going to treat these tools as just like you're treating a smartphone now? Or you should go in depth in this technology and actually understand what's happening, like you understand what neural network is, how to program a machine, how to do all these hard work. So should it be like you go into the subject and learn artificial intelligence, or just learn the tools, or just don't do any of these because it's just a couple of year trend and it's going to go down?
Oh, it's not a trend that's going to go down. What you do, whether you become an expert in the field or not, really depends on your personal preference. Not everybody wants to be technology oriented, but critical thinking skills are going to be extremely necessary. What we're seeing right now in just about every industry, there isn't a client that I have that is not thinking since last year, how can I use AI to optimize supply chain, marketing, operations, human resources, finance, IT, everything. They're talking about it every day. We are seeing, for example, my law firm, the partner of the law firm is my attorney, and he was telling me his son is going to law school in Miami, and in the school where he's going to law school, he says this past summer, and ChatGPT just came out, to the public, in March. Already this past summer, a few months later, his son said that the amount of internships for attorneys going to law school had severely diminished. So the first way that we're seeing is that a lot of those entry-level jobs, whether it is marketing, a law clerk, right? So knowledge economy jobs at the entry-level space are beginning to get reduced. We are seeing that today, and that trend is only going to grow. There's a great study by Deloitte that they expect over the next, I think, 10 years, we should be losing about 100 million knowledge economy jobs. These are people that are white-collar jobs. These are smart thinking people, but they need to pivot and adapt. You can't simply, the plan you had 3 years ago for your future, if you're in a knowledge economy worker, entry-level, change completely. It's not your fault, but it changed. And you have to, first of all, you have to be informed. You have to read. You have to understand that Sam Altman got fired Friday, and that he may be starting a company. And why is that really happening? Was he pushing to make, OpenAI more for profit? And was there a pushback for the other people? What impact is going to have in other, AI model?
He wanted to create that GPT turbo. I don't know. I think there is some of the regulations that actually stopped it. I don't know the reason he got fired, but it's clear that everything's changing really fast. This is what actually we tell our people who are interested in learning something like graphic design. I mean, guys, we have something in artificial intelligence now called Midjourney. I mean, you could write whatever sentence you want, and it's going to create it. Like MohammedShallan, what he did yesterday, actually, he wanted to create someone out of him, like generate a synthetic version of him, like being in a different, I don't know, was it a different shape?
Just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, you just created something. Did you need a graphic designer for this?
Just need a couple of seconds, and you done. Job is done.
A couple of seconds and a tool. And the AI did all the hard work for you. So you don't need. Yes. So the change is that we don't need to learn graphic design nowadays, and that goes actually like for some other jobs. And it's not just going to shrink; it's going to completely diminish. So it's going to completely be not there. So this is actually what we say. So you have to look at the trend and go with it.
Yeah. Well, I built a 1-minute video presentation of Robert Newland using ChatGPT. And it took images, it composed everything, put in music, put an AI generated voice. It did everything for me. Yes. If I go to a company in the US for that, it's going to cost me $8,000 to $12,000 to do that. I was able to do it online in no time, and it's really, really good. So it is. I have friends that are in digital video production. That's why I have a friend who's got about 50 employees doing this. He travels all over the world doing video production on the B2B space. And he is rethinking his business. He's telling me, I think I can do what I'm doing now with about 15 people. At least 35 people are going to be out of a job.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that's going to be like that forever, but unfortunately, when you have industrial pivots, there are people that unless they adapt their skill set, they're likely to lose their jobs. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And again, keep in mind, my biggest concern to all of the audience here, especially young people, this pivot is going to happen very quickly. So you need to pay a lot of attention. Just be constantly informed and don't be upset. But what you think is going to happen today may be different 3 months from now, and then you need to pivot again. The next couple of years, there's going to be so much change that you're just going to have to find a way to keep up, because we really don't know what this is going to look like 5 years from now. We really don't. So number one thing is just be informed, be adaptable, pliable, flexible. Don't be like so stubborn. This is the one thing I wanted to do, because if it becomes irrelevant a year from now, then you're in trouble, right? You have to be more open-minded than that.
Exactly. So, Mr. Shallan, do you have any comments about this?
Yes, I need to ask Robert. Hello, Robert. Nice to meet you on the first. I wanted to ask you about the investment. I'm called myself an entrepreneur, so I'm very, very interested about investment and entrepreneurship, especially in AI. I need to ask you what inspired you to become an investor in the first, and what the kind of startups you are mentioned, the acceleration or incubation, I think. If you are an investment, what the criteria or the passion you are moved to invest in AI startup?
Sure. So Mohammed, the first thing that drove me to invest in AI is a deep instinct of survival. When I was building HR Frenzy, which is the online marketplace for HR freelancers, last year, we took it to market. It was not working, and we spent the first 6 months this year working on the UI UX to improve it. And as that happened, ChatGPT came out, right? So I told my team this summer, while we were working in the present, the future arrived like 6 months ago. We need to rethink this. And as I was doing that, I had this fellow from Pandatron, the CEO and founder, Dima. He's actually Ukrainian. His company is based out on Finland, although he spends his time mostly now in San Francisco doing fundraising. He had reached out to me last year for an investment. And I was like, well, let me pass it around. I do some investments. Let me see who's interested. And nobody was really. When ChatGPT came out, I said, I need to call Dima. I need to become an investor in AI, because I have a couple of choices. Either I become obsolete because AI is going to take over consulting, or I become an owner, of AI. So I need to be in this way, because this is the future in the knowledge economy. I'm in the knowledge economy business. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I need to find ways to be involved and invested, in that space. And by the way, just so you know, my investment in Pandatron in March to today has quadrupled in value. It's moving that quickly. So it's a good time to get on the train, but with the understanding also that with everything new, there will be successes and many, many failures as well. So you have to be willing to take the knocks as much as you have to appreciate the wins, right?
Yes, I understand this. So, Robert, so do we have participants who are having any questions? I mean, if somebody has a question from the participants, please feel free to send it through our chat here in the meeting or through the WhatsApp group. And Mr. Zidane, do we have questions from the participants?
Well, I have a question here, one of my own, So if I'm free to ask, of course, can I do that? Okay. So, Robert, you invested in a lot of companies, all right? So what is that you consider the most company that's actually, what is your biggest success as for now? And what is the most, the most enjoyable project that you worked on?
I think Pandatron I am enjoying the most, quite frankly, because what Pandatron is doing is micro coaching for change management, and I think what they do is going to be very important for a lot of people. especially organizations. When you're having such a huge pivot, organizations are going to pivot. The problem is that sometimes employees don't pivot at the same speed, or they do not at all. But through micro coaching, you can help employees pivot with the organization, saving jobs, saving people from not, losing their jobs. So I'm really excited about what we can do in Pandatron to help organizations pivot through this accelerated change. Think about it. When you do micro coaching through AI, you can actually coach everybody in the organization. When you're trying to do coaching on a one-on-one basis, it's unaffordable. There aren't enough coaches or enough money to coach everybody in an organization. That is why, for example, one of our clients started with a project of 100 people through coaching. And after a pilot, they said, we want 10,000 seats. 10,000.
Wow.
This is a 50,000 employee organization. They want 10,000 seats right now. And we're seeing this in Europe, in North America. We have one of the largest coaching firms in Japan is one of our partners as well. So very, very exciting. To me, that is the most impactful and the most fun. I would say unrelated to AI, the other investment that I have, it was probably my first investment. And I find it extremely valuable and rewarding. It's a company called Ecospheres. They actually licensed technology from NASA to put the spheres on the waterbeds to eliminate PCBs, which is one of the largest carcinogens on the planet. And they're doing amazing work around the globe doing this kind of stuff. Not AI, but I think it's really meaningful work and very good for the planet. So I'm very happy with that investment. And they're doing, their valuation is amazing, and they're doing work all over the country, all over the world right now. So that's a fun one.
Wow, thank you. And I guess that Robin William, I guess you had a question to ask Robert. You can go ahead, open your camera and ask him. Robin.
Then I have a question for Robert, please, on this point.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Can you tell us the biggest challenge you are faced while integrating AI into coaching? I think you have faced many challenges in this.
What is the biggest challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think that when you have a lower rate of acceleration, if you look at the adoption curve, right, you have the innovators, you have the early adopters, the early majority, late majority, and laggers, right? That's sort of the adoption curve. Usually when you're coming up with, say, computing, how many years was that before? 20 years, 20 some years before everybody had a, laptop? It took a long time. So the late majority and laggers they had enough time to catch up. I think the biggest challenge we have with AI is that the rate of acceleration is so fast that I'm really concerned that a lot of people that are sort of averse to change are going to be left behind because they're not realizing how quickly, Robin, this is happening. So that is my biggest concern for people. And I think is the biggest challenge that we face. I talk to organizations about Pandatron and AI micro coaching. And for every organization that says this is really important, really interesting, many of them are like, no, that's okay. And those are late majority. Those organizations are going to be overtaken by those that are moving quickly on this, because the ones that are moving quickly on this are going to be so competitive. They're going to be so financially strong that they're going to eat them up. So that's the biggest challenge for me. How can I help people realize that this is really urgent, really real, and it's going to change the planet very quickly?
Nice. And what the feedback have you received from the clients regarding you are provide your service? The feedback is good.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. At first, it's no, that's okay. Then they have the experience and we go, oh wow. I give you the example with with the AI micro coaching.
Yes.
What we found is that people are saying, yeah, but you're talking to a computer. And we tell them, yes, but if you look at today's generation, more than words, they prefer text. So everybody's texting, and so the adoption rate of it once you enter an organization, and the retention rate is high. For example, when we do a Pandotron, when we enter a company, pretty much everybody's told you have to do it. So adoption rate is like 99%. But the beautiful thing is that 6 months later, the average rate of retention is 74%. This is very high. Now, I think it helps that we actually integrate into Slack or Teams with organizations, so we become part of their internal ecosystem of communication. But people feel, strangely enough, that talking to an AI bot for micro coaching is like writing on a journal that asks you questions. Feels a little bit more intimate and personal, and they don't feel judged. When they're being coached by a person, they feel judged. So in here, they're more open. The other thing that we found with this that is so fascinating is because the micro coaching is providing coaching and feedback to everybody in the organization, you're able to generate through the data amazing insights on employee sentiment in a pretty instant basis. Before this, when you look at large organizations, you have to do what we call in our industry an employee engagement survey. So once a year, you ask employees, how do you feel? You know, you like your benefits, you like your supervisor, this and that. And there was a company that we were talking to them. It's a case study that, you know, they were saying, we don't understand why the financial performance is not there. The engagement surveys say that everybody's very happy. And we told them, well, that engagement survey was from last year. They're saying they don't like this now, not last year. So the ability to get instant information through AI, and the fact that AI can just gather data and everything you say and provide insights. There's no human that can coach 10,000 people and provide not just individual reports on a monthly basis, but provide, you know, an insights report on everybody in a meaningful way. It's just
they did something like that in Zoom platform. There's something, I think it's an enhancement they're gonna add. I don't know if it's yet, but there's something called Zoom IQ.
Yep.
Zoom IQ allows you not to attend your meetings in time, because actually it's gonna give you all the details of what happened inside that meeting, and you can ask questions. It actually leverages the power of natural language processing and starts working on what's happening. They convert your speech to text, and then take the text, process it, and then it gives you insights of what happened inside the meeting. So you just ask question, what happened inside the meeting? Give me a summary of what happened in the meeting. So they give you everything. So actually Zoom IQ is allowing people not to attend their meetings in time. So it's,
Amra, I'm working on employee.com in Saudi Arabia right now. I'm a product manager. So I think this is a service. You are providing this service as like APIs and integration together.
exactly.
Or just as a software as a service. I don't know.
No, it's software as a service. There's a web app, but there also it integrates into Slack or Teams and things like that.
Perfect. We will.
It's just,
inshallah.
it's fascinating. Now, Ahmed, I will say this about the introverts here. They say, well, if I can, because I've used, you know, the Zoom, it summarizes, right? There are a couple out there. That's really great. But if you think that you're an introvert and don't want to be in the meeting, I still have to tell everybody, if you want to get ahead in life, you have to show up, you have to be part of the conversation. Don't just receive the report, because then you're going to be in that desk 20 years from now still. You have to connect with people. In order to succeed, you know, I'm now more in the AI world, but I'm having live conversations, I'm having live interactions, I'm part of the discussion, I'm part of the influence, I'm being influenced as well. So don't hide in your home office, because now you're going to get the report and disconnect from the planet.
Yeah,
it's not going to be good.
I think Robin here wants to ask his question. So Robin, if you can hear me, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I can hear you right now. All right, guys. Nice to meet you guys. Actually, we have met up with Mr. Amr before in many events, so you can figure out I'm from Egypt right now. So my question is, Mr. Robert, how can I work by AI in this environment? Like, you know, Egypt is like, it's quite weak environment here, weak industry here. Like, if you want to work by AI or kind of that, even machine learning, like, as you know, like machine learning here is not common here. Like you should to migrate or to travel or to work as a freelance. So it's quite hard to do that. So what are you doing right now?
Great question, Robin. Great question. And my answer to you, I come from a place called Puerto Rico. It's an island, and we're sort of disconnected from the planet, right? And I will give you the same answer I give in Puerto Rico. Think global and work global, right? If you look at Pandatron, it's headquartered in Finland. Our CEO is in San Francisco. The developers some of them are in Brazil. Actually, we have somebody in the sales team in Finland who was just was raised in Dubai, who's Egyptian.
Okay.
So just think global. Just think global. Think beyond Egypt. You can be in Egypt, but do business globally. Right now, we've been doing presentation for partners for the last few weeks in Ireland, in Australia, in Canada. It doesn't matter where you're at nowadays. It's the beauty of technology that you're not limited by geography anymore. So now more than ever, you have an advantage you didn't have before.
Yes, exactly. So, well, we could go on and on and on with Robert, because I mean, this is really amazing. Speaking to you, Robert, is really good. Thank you so much. We had so much benefited from you. We actually, I mean, if you just want to leave the audience with just one word of advice, what would you give them before we end this?
I can't think of one word, but just
make it a sentence.
I'm an extrovert. I talk too much. Stay informed and be flexible in your plan. Stay informed and be flexible. If you do that, you're going to do well. Even if you're doing a startup, most startups begin with an MVP, minimum viable product, but many startups will tell you that they started doing one thing and they ended up maybe doing something else, leveraging their skill set because they adapted to opportunities. So just keep learning, be adaptable, see where you can take it. Okay.
Robert, thank you so much for being here. We'd like to see you in much more events, and
We are waiting you in
maybe
Egypt, inshallah.
maybe this is your first time in Egypt. That's not gonna be the last, and we'd like to see you in person one day.
I would love to come visit for sure. My sister enjoys coming to Egypt. I'm sure I will as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
Be well, everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, well, now we have a special guests. They just want to say hi, and then we're gonna move to the second speaker, Yusuf. I hope you're here. And but before we take Yusuf, we have just some special guests, Mr. Al and Mrs. Yvette. They are here, the founders of Ground Troops company in the United States of America. It's a landscaping company, and they're really fascinated by artificial intelligence. If you guys are here and can open the camera and say hi, would like to see you. Oh, Mr. Al, how are you doing? Your microphone is off. If you could open the microphone, because the microphone is not. Hey, the microphone is not working. Still not working. I don't know. Still not working. Okay, so I don't know if you could fix this problem, the microphone, because the microphone is not working yet. Maybe we could take the second speaker until Mr. Ali just fixed the microphone problem, and we could take you after this one. So now we have. I mean, I'm really excited by this conversation. He's a computer vision researcher and a data scientist and the founder of Data and Beyond. He's an influencer and has a lot of followers on LinkedIn, which I envy, by the way. And I mean, he has a lot of articles and research papers that are recognized by a lot of governments. From Finland, Metropolitan, please welcome the great Yusuf Rafat. How are you doing, Yusuf?
Hi, Omar. Hey, Amr. How you are doing?
Good. The camera is actually like.
Yeah, I can fix it a little bit. Is it better now?
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, great.
So,
How are you?
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Yusuf.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me and thanks for organizing the event.
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed the first talk.
Thank you. We actually invited you in the first meeting, but you weren't in Egypt because it was offline and couldn't make it. Maybe, I mean, we're very lucky to have you now because it's virtual.
It's my pleasure. Yes,
Thank you so much. So first of all, before we walk into the talk, your main talk, which is generative AI and neural networks, we need to go technical a little bit, but I want to know a little bit about you, about your background and history, and a little bit of your success, of course. So please walk us through this.
Yeah, so just let's be my story. I think there is no like much success yet, but yeah, let's be just a story. I graduated from university in Egypt, Alexandria University, and my major was electronics and communication engineering. After that, I started my master degree in Finland, and
could you raise your voice a little bit?
Oh yeah, can like. Yeah, so after that I started my master's degree. It was in computer science, and my subspecialty was image and signal processing. And at this point I started like working in AI because it was it was working in a practical project. And after that I done my summer intern. It was like also in biomedical, but it was like the integration between AI and biomedical, especially in the application of computer vision in healthcare and biomedical engineering. And after that, I also done my thesis in the same topic and worked like for around 2 years as a researcher in AI. And my main research point was like application of computer vision in healthcare, applying like computer vision techniques on fMRI data and MRI data. And also, meanwhile, I worked a little bit in the industry as a data scientist. And yeah, after that, at this point, like shifting a little bit from the academia to the industry, I faced some challenges which I tried to overcome. And during this process, I learned a lot, and I started sharing what I have learned through LinkedIn. And after that, like because LinkedIn have some word limitation, and also people tend to like read short posts and long posts, so I decided to start writing long form articles.
Yeah, how did you get this much recognition by a lot of attendees? I mean, you have over 70,000 in LinkedIn is a huge number. I was just telling my co-host yesterday, on Facebook you could make it easily, but on LinkedIn it's really hard because it's
I don't know. I don't know either.
World,
I don't know either, to be honest. I just was sharing what I'm learning from the process. And also not only from like the transition, but also when I'm just working on a certain project, I will just sharing some practical tips and so on. When I'm reading a certain book, I just share some tips which I have learned through reading and so on. And it seems people like it, so yeah, that's why I get some recognition.
I like it too. Everyone who likes it.
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear this.
Yeah,
I decided to start like writing on Medium because I want like more space to be able to express my ideas and myself. After that, also I got a lot of messages. People want to just ask me about some stuff. So I started do some mentoring. And I think it
I saw a lot of this. It's amazing what you did, Yusuf, and you're still doing a lot of great job. I mean, I really enjoy your posts and everything because it's guys. Yusuf Hosni on LinkedIn. You could find them easily if you're interested in data science, interested in computer vision, interested in the problems that are happening nowadays. You could find Yusuf sharing about all these things.
Yeah, so, exactly.
and especially the last point. So yeah, I don't want to go into this, but Yusuf, thank you so much for being here. So first of all, my background is actually mechanical engineering for me personally, but I actually made this shift career 4 years ago. I started learning about machine learning and data science and all these things, and I actually got this internship at Amazon AWS, and I got the certificate as a machine learning specialist. What I figured out after 4 years is that machine learning is all about collecting some data and then fine-tuning these data and cleaning the data and then selecting the best model, getting it to the best model, and then the model deploys it and finds out an answer for what you want to predict. So I'm trying to find out something else, but I feel like it's all there is. I mean, machine learning is a big field. Choosing the models and selecting the best algorithm is a big field, but actually the steps are really small. Isn't it right? Or I mean, Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's right, but the point is like this like the whole process differs from one domain to another, from data type to another. So if you are working with images, it will be different. If you are working with RGB images, it will be different than working with medical images and working with thermal camera images. So this is like the main challenges with AI, is that when the domain differs, when the type of the data differs, there will be a lot of different techniques. So like pre-processing certain images will be quite different from pre-processing text, from pre-processing structured data, and within like text, pre-processing Arabic language data will be different from pre-processing English, from pre-processing.
But the goal is the same. The goal is the same. Actually, I have to select the features that actually resonate to.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the
Yeah. So yeah, there is like certain pipeline or certain lines that you have to follow, but yeah, it differs a lot from one application to another, depending on a lot of different variables that we have.
So recently, generative AI is making everything easier. I mean, you could use Midjourney to create whatever you want. You could use ChatGPT to write the best content you want, to write you the best emails you want. You could use the AI, but especially the generative AI. So the first thing I want you to define generative AI, but I'll make it harder for you. I want you to define generative AI so that a 9-year-old boy could understand what it means. So could you do this, please?
Okay. So yeah, let's do it in two different ways. First, let's do it in the traditional scientific way, and let's do it after that with just like because like if I have to describe it for a 9 years old, I would have to simplify it a lot. So it would be somehow. Yeah, let's do it first in the traditional way. So like generative AI is, you can say it's a type of AI, or it's a subfield of AI, which can produce various type of content, such as like text, image, audio, and also different type of data. It's like we can say it like it's subfield of deep learning. So in deep learning we have like two main types or two main categories. We have discriminative AI and we have generative AI. So discriminative AI is like the normal one, where we have like training data and we have like maybe labels or not, depending on the data we have, and we try to like understand the relation between the featured data points and the label we have, and we try to understand this pattern, and we can after that use this to like somehow match the data with labels.
That's the traditional way, which I guess nobody understood. Yeah, but me, I understand it. So I want to make sure the rest are understanding what's happening. So what is generative AI in a very, very simpler form?
Yeah, so generative AI is like we have to learn the probability distribution of the data we have, so we can generate similar data to it. So if the discriminative AI try to learn the relation between X and Y, which is like X is the features we have and Y is the labels, generative AI try to understand the probability distribution of the data we have to be able to generate similar content to the one that we have trained the model with. I think this is like the traditional, we can say the traditional definition of generative AI. If I would like to like describe it to a 9 years old, I can say like it's how you learn to. So like if I give him a drawing and I told him try to learn this drawing to be able to draw a similar one, not the exact one, but like similar drawings. So it's something like this. He start to understand, see how it's been drawn, and what are the colors, what are the texture, and what are the
so whatever is
have, and after that
whatever is fit to
his
you,
own.
Whatever is fit to you at the beginning, you start to resonate with it, and then you try to generate similar one. It's exactly like the one, I mean, in WhatsApp, even if you're writing a text message to a friend via WhatsApp, what's going to happen is that if you start a sentence, I mean, there are some predictions that are going to flourish in front of you to select. And actually, the process is that it's different. My phone is different from your phone. So if I wrote down a word, so the next predicted word for me is different than your words, because it learned the way you talk,
exactly.
the way I talk. So that's considered as the training data, and the output is actually what's predicted to you. And this is what actually happens. But ChatGPT is more like a general one. So now we could understand that what happens in WhatsApp or whatever is actually specifically done for you.
Yeah, it's fine-tuned. I'm not sure like if
How could
WhatsApp.
how could they make the general one?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if WhatsApp is fine-tuned to your data or not, but also ChatGPT is not like still that general. I think this because, like for example, if you ask about a certain event that happens after the data it was trained on, like I think like the data it was trained on till 2021. If you ask about certain event in 2023, you will not be able to answer it. If you ask about like certain information in a certain private document, you will not be able to answer it. That's why we have like the fine-tuning techniques where we can like take a ChatGPT or like LLM model and start fine-tuning on our private data so we can use it in our private environment, for example. So yeah, ChatGPT, the point is it was trained on a massive data. They have been training it, I think, for 3 or 4 years on like billions of data. And that's why it was like able to generalize to a lot of questions and so on. But still, there are some limitations to it, especially when you come to like time-related data, the data that occurred after it was trained, and also to private data, which he didn't see before. It will be difficult to answer your questions around it.
That's great. Here's what's going to happen, because we have a lot of questions from the audience. So the first thing, I'm going to go with Mr. Shallan. If you have any comments or questions to Yusuf, please go ahead. And then Mr. Zidane, we need to deliver all these questions because we have a lot of audience want to ask you.
Of course.
Okay. Hi, Yusuf. I'm gonna check your LinkedIn profile, and I'm really impressed about your profile.
It's my pleasure.
I need to ask you 2 questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The first one, what is the pivotal moments or decisions shaped your career in data science overall, and especially in AI, to lead you to where you are today? That's my first question.
Yeah, let's answer first, because I will probably forget it. Yeah. So I believe not to be just strict to a certain domain, because when I first started, I was like really passionate about the medical domain. But the point is, if you just stay in a certain domain and just all your experience will be around it, I think you will lose a lot of opportunities, and also you lose a lot of potential to learn. So try just to be flexible. So like for example, I have been working in computer vision for 3 years, but yeah, currently my new position, I'm working with LLMs and NLP. So yeah, try to be flexible. I think there will be more learning when I just like go through different domains, through different applications and so on. So try to be flexible.
Perfect. This is Robert advice for us. Be flexible. Okay, thanks. The second one, you mentioned you are provide a mentoring. As a mentor, what is the common challenge do you see in emerging data science you are facing with them? What is the common challenges?
Yeah, so probably like the most asked question people like usually come with is that they have finished like learning most of the basics. They have just like finished Andrew specialization for machine learning and so on, which is like quite common. But they are in a phase where they have learned a lot, but they can't land a job, and they don't know what they should do and what path they should follow to be able to land a job. So
I get this question like 3 times a day. So
yeah.
Please help me answer this question. So
yeah, I think this is like the most common question I usually
Yes.
get. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Then you can take the mic.
Yeah, so Zidane, please go ahead.
All right. So I have here a question from Omar Abdel Nasser. What is the essential mathematical topic for mastering the generative adversarial network? It's like a machine learning framework. So that's his question.
Yeah, so basically, I would say it depends, of course, on the level of mastering generative AI you would like to get. So if you are working or have the goal to work in the research, it will be different from working in the industry. But like we can just give like an answer, a general answer, and of course, if you like to get deeper in generative AI, you will have to like get deeper in mathematics.
We're trying to generalize everything. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think like undergraduate mathematics will be very enough. So if you already graduated from engineering degree or science degree, I think this will be enough. So we are talking about like basics of linear algebra, matrix multiplications, and so on, basics of calculus, basics of probability, basic of statistics, like undergraduate level. I think there's a lot of courses that covers mathematics for machine learning and mathematics for data science, a lot of courses and books that are specified for this domain. I think this will help you that you can like understand almost everything you read, but of course you might like need a little bit more effort depending on the level you would like to achieve in mastering generative AI. But yeah, undergraduate mathematics for engineering students will be more than enough.
All right, so I guess you have your answer here, Omar. So I have an interesting question here from Yvette. Okay, so she says, since AI utilizes data, which could be like inherently flawed, all right, how do we actually guard against misinformation or even bias generated by AI? And I guess that's like a big issue in AI, you know?
Oh yeah. I think there is like major teams that are working on this. It's like under the topic of responsible AI. And yeah, I think like it has different aspects. One of them, of course, is the data you are collecting. This is very important aspect of it. And I think there is teams that are like validating the data that it's not biased. And also another thing which is currently being focused on in large language models, which is RLHF, which is I think reinforcement learning by human feedback. This is also another aspect where you can like giving feedback, human feedback on the answer and on the generated text to make sure that it's not biased and so on. But this is still one of the major problems in LLMs. This and also the hallucinations, because it still hallucinates a lot and give misinformation a lot.
And also when they say AI is not 100% accurate, I mean sometimes it generates flows data. So I mean all of these are happening. If you're a human being and you're asked a question, you could give a wrong answer, and this happens as a human.
But I think there's like a bigger problem that will come in the next years, because currently a lot of content are being already generated by AI, which like future generative AI models will use to be trained on.
Yes.
So this I think will be like from one side, this will saturate the level of reasoning that this LLM models can understand. And also it will contain a lot of misinformation because it's already generated by AI itself. So I think it really depends on the quality of data that you try to feed the generative AI models with it.
Let's ask. I need to ask you one question at this point about ChatGPT and the other language models. From your perspective, what impacts do models like ChatGPT, BARD, and so on have on the data science community and the over industry at large?
Yeah, I think it have like quite big impact, especially like for the. We can't say it will replace certain jobs yet, but what it can do, of course, it can make the job easier. I use it on a daily basis in code debugging and also in code generation, and also in text summarization and so on. And also it has been like there are a lot of ChatGPT plugins that can be used to automate data visualization and also data analysis and so on. So of course it will have an impact on making the work more efficient, which like will lead in being able to produce better products with less number of data science and less number of data analysis. But still, if your work tasks need some cognitive power, you'll not be replaced. This is the point. Don't be like there is like a concept called data monkey, who is on just clean the data and do some visualization to it. ChatGPT, and not ChatGPT only, but LLM models and generative AI can be used to do so. So try to focus on like having bigger impact in your organization, so you'll not be replaced. But of course, it's very helpful. Yeah,
there's a good impact from your perspective. Can you share some of bad impact?
Thank you, Shaleen. Yusuf, there's a question that actually happens to come to me a lot, and I want to answer it from my own perspective, and I also want you to correct me. So thank God you're here to help me answer this question, because I get it a lot. This question is from Aya. She says, how to overcome the feeling of being lost in this field, regardless of how big and complicated it is. So whenever I get this question, I answer it, and there is like a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is that artificial intelligence is really a big field, but what I say is that just learn the basic concepts of each topic. Like, if you understand that artificial intelligence is all about learning data and pre-processing this data and making AI, like creating a brain that can think and actually solve problems the way you think it is. So you're feeding data in it and you're getting the answers. And you start learning, like looking at a topic like natural language processing to see how actually we process a text data. And then you start looking at the subject of computer vision and see how actually we pre-process the image data, and then the numerical data and everything. And then once you have the overall overview of the whole image, you could actually start thinking of, okay, I love natural language processing, so I'm working on this field. So you go and dig deeper into it, like you start learning about sequence-to-sequence algorithms, start learning about recurrent neural networks, and start learning about tokenization and all the libraries like NLTK libraries and all these things. No, I don't like natural language processing. I actually like computer vision. So you start learning about the libraries and the packages and everything. So you look at the bigger picture from the beginning, and then you actually, you're gonna like one of them, but don't work at all fields. So this is my answer. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. So I think, like, first, if you are in the first phase of just learning, I think this is like the right approach until you just like put your first steps in a certain domain. So I land a job in a certain domain. I can after that like start digging deeper in it. But in the same time, I don't want you to just be isolated from the other domains. Try to have, because like now they are very much integrated. So we can see like there is like computer vision to text models and so on. So they are very much overlapped and integrated with each other. So like if you are just starting, I think you can do as what Amr mentioned. I think it's like perfect way. After you put in your steps, try to dig deeper in your domain, and also to have like a good idea on what is happening around you in the other fields of AI also. But yeah, it's really complicated. We have to just know this. You have to like develop your learning habit to be able to learn every day. I think it's very good that you have like a learning plan for every year, and you can start break it down into months. So it might be just like maybe 3 or 4 books per year, for example, that you can go through it, cover different topics, in addition to your day-to-day job.
Thank you, Yusuf. And also, I have a question here from Islam Yasser, and I guess that I share the same question with him. Okay, so in the field of AI, as you know, of course, the field is like growing so fast. Okay, like so fast that we cannot actually catch up to it. So how we can actually learn something like in the field of data science, maybe, or anything, or any field of AI, maybe that serves AI, how we can catch up while it's actually growing so fast.
Yeah, it's really a challenge. Yeah. So like first, if you are just starting, focus on the basics. So if you are just starting, don't follow the hype. One day you will be there, so don't rush it. If you are just starting, follow the basics, learn the foundations. You'll not be able to understand generative AI without knowing what is machine learning and how it works and so on. You'll not be able to do any project in generative AI or LLM without knowing how to write good Python code and how to use different frameworks and so on. So just follow the basics first. There is, I think, like very, very many roadmaps that you can follow any. I think all of them will be a good starting point. After that, you will know what you are, what are your gaps, and you can start with it. If you already like have been like a couple of years in the field, I believe there is like different ways that I personally use. I can share it. I'm not sure if it will be the best or not, but I try to like have a weekly summary for the new papers that are being published. There is like a page on Hugging Face called Daily Paper. It's like sharing the new papers in computer vision and NLP, especially for the generative AI in this field. I try to just like go through the papers, the new papers. I don't read all of them. I just read the abstracts and see if they have a demo or something. I can just go through it to have an idea what is happening, what are the research community are doing, and so on. Also, sometimes I watch just YouTube videos on the recent advances. Like for example, when OpenAI have their dev conference in the last week, I just
Yeah.
watched some videos about the new assistant API and the new GPTs and so on. Also to just follow the market and know what's happening. So yeah, I follow some influencers on Twitter and LinkedIn. Follow some research labs to be able to also stand with or to cope with the recent advances and recent projects that they are working on. And yeah, as I mentioned, it's really important that you have like a learning plan, whatever your level is. If you are senior or if you are a junior, whatever. Since you already have landed the job and you have like a day-to-day job, try to have like at least 1 hour per day that you have like a learning plan. You can work on a specialization, you can work on boot camp, you can work on certain books, but try to have a learning habit because it's really important. You can't like stay in the field without sharpening your skills and without increasing your knowledge. If you already believe that you are expert in your domain, try to explore other domains. If you are working in computer vision, try to explore NLP and the opposite. Try to gain some insights from software engineering if you're already working as a machine learning engineer. So there is always something to learn. So it's very important to have your own learning plan and start working through it.
So I guess that actually having a career in AI or something like that requires your like full attention, full time, right? Or is it something that I can do actually? Like there's already people that already in other fields, but they heard of AI, they want to get into it, and they want actually to implement AI in their field, even.
Yeah.
So is it something that we can do on the side, or should we actually give it like a full-time part of our lives and to actually integrate into it, and then we can combine both fields?
So it depends. If you are working already in a certain field and you would like to use AI in your domain, I think you can just learn the basics because like a big part of being good at AI is to have domain knowledge. So if you already have domain knowledge, you already understand the data, you know how to deal with it, how to pre-process it, and you just want to learn the modeling part. I think you can just like learn machine learning and start apply it to your domain because you already have like the domain knowledge. But if you would like to be an AI engineer, machine learning engineer, data science, or whatever, that you can work in different domains and use different data, I think you have to have it like as a full time. Yeah.
Amr, by the way, do we have like time for last question or? All right. So there's a question from Mirhan here. She actually, well, a part of her question that we already answered, so I'm not going to ask it again to not be repetitive. So there's another part of the question here. Is English is actually very important to get into the field of AI, or is it something like we can do like later or as we learn?
Yeah, I think like for the basics, there is some good Arabic courses. But if you would like to advance in the field, I think English is very important. You have to read some textbooks, you have to take some courses, or even just YouTube tutorials or reading articles. I think it's important. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's important.
Thank you.
But it shouldn't be like a barrier. I think if you already have like moderate level English, like if you already passed the if you are in university and you have already taken like the secondary level of school English, which is I think you can do it, and it might take you some time, but until you like understand the basic terms and so on that related to AI, it might take some time, but after that you can do it. So I believe it shouldn't be a barrier to you.
Thank you, Yusuf, for your answer.
We can take the last question. We can take the last question here by Shihab. Yes.
Oh, okay. Amr's feeling generous. All right. So, from Shihab Diab, is it a correct approach to study data analysis and applying statics concepts before studying machine learning, or is it better to just start ML and learn it on the way?
I think it depends, but yeah, I like the approach that you first. Even when I wrote a roadmap for data science, I usually first that you not only data analysis but data analysis, mathematics, Python. Then you start studying machine learning. What I see most of the people do that they just start with machine learning specialization, but the point is that you will feel it useless after finishing because you don't have the intuition of what is data and what should I do with the machine learning after that. So yeah, I think it's the perfect approach. First you start.
It gives you a nice base of understanding how data works and
what is data. What's data and what we are looking to get out of it.
So data analysis is a really, really big field, but what he means here by data analysis, I think, is understanding what data is and how to do the pre-processing things and how to get insights out of the data. I mean, one of the things that they told me in Amazon when I was taking this course was that I don't care if you can do the pre-processing and cleaning. I only care if you can get insights and pull questions out of these data. So this is. I mean, data analysis helps you think. It's more like I don't know. It's not a technical term. It's more like understanding how to get business questions and how to derive insights out of these data. So.
Yeah, exactly. As Amr mentioned, it's not like just the process of data analysis. It's like the intuition of data analysis. Yeah, I think this is the perfect approach.
Thank you so much, MohammedShallan. Do you have any final comments?
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think you were asking what is the bad effect of ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, we are talk about the good impact, and if you don't mind, you talk about we need your answer about the bad impact.
Yeah, I think the bad impact will be the more we have more automation tools, the less we will use our cognitive power. So we can see a decline if it's misused. So in our debugging, for example, I have been using ChatGPT for debugging for a while. It's really easy. It make my life easier. So also for my writing, currently I just write very bad writing. I just give it to it to improve my writing. So I think the more I use it, but it's point it saves me time. But I think it will decrease my skills a little bit for what I'm using it. So I was just there is some confliction on OpenAI now, and they just fired some Altman. So I was just thinking if ChatGPT tomorrow just got off and I can't use it anymore, I think I'll take a little bit more time to regain my level of skills of debugging and writing and so on, because I have been using it a lot. So
Yusuf, it helps all the students do their assignments. Come on, what are you talking about?
And
that's
cheating,
the best part of it.
Cheating,
it's not cheating. It's called leveraging the power of artificial intelligence. That is actually what we're doing. It's not cheating. So.
I think you have to be careful. Or you have to put this in mind that you are somehow make your work efficient, but in the same time it's on the cost of decreasing your skills in the area where you are using it to
solve.
Be careful.
Exactly.
Save time, but increase the procrastinations.
Yusuf, I'm really, really glad that you are here finally with us. I hope the next version of AI Catalyst in Egypt will be in Egypt and come on stage.
I'm really happy to have talking with you all, and
I'm really happy to. So thank you so much, Yusuf, for being here. I really enjoyed your talk, and of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't know if some people want to say hi from the special guests, Mr. Al. Did you set up the microphone?
Hello, you hear me now?
Yeah, we do.
Hi, good afternoon. As you know that I'm here calling you from Florida, United States, and the time here is 12:19 in the afternoon.
Yes.
I have enjoyed Robert Newland. You can top that off, and then until Yusuf start talking, and then you find out Yusuf is amazing speaker, and then you got MohammedShallan is sitting down. We hope to hear from him today. So the whole format is amazing. I'm really excited about it, learning about AI from you all. And if there is observation I have arrived to today, was that some concern about this AI is like a Mack truck is going to hit me. I'm going to lose my career. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to be unemployed in very short time. And I would like the expert to speak to that a little bit, assuring people that it's not technology to kill you. It's really your best friend. This AI is here to stay. And AI is going to be like when we first experienced the automobile. And we didn't know how the automobile worked, but we all know how to use it. And that's going to be the same thing here with AI. We're going to know how to use it. We're going to find out a lot of good usage for it. But we really don't know how it works. And that's to the pro, to the engineer and scientific and enthusiast and those who are fascinated, addicted to technology. You know, these people will be doing that part of us. But for a normal individual, how can I benefit? How can I make money? How can I build my career? Remember, for every technology come along, there are those who build the technology and there are those who come behind to maintain it, install it, repair it, fine-tune it. And in some cases, even other sector and other company come behind this wave of technology to support it. And then you get, after all that, compliance, legal, and attorneys. And now the last thing I was reading about was we were talking about whether the robot will have a legal right. Can you destroy a robot when that robot is collecting data? So we are in for some exciting and fun wave of technology through the machine learning and AI. And I really cannot speak enough to the talent and the skill of those who spoke already, specifically Amr. I can see it writing on the wall. I can see it because it's a knowledge. And what you are offering us today is a plate full of knowledge. And this will be your best friend when you're facing technology. You got to be educated. You got to know depth of knowledge. You got to have all the basics in place. And I think what Amr is offering us today is something very unique. And I'm so grateful and I'm so honored to be in this company of such talent and skills. And I wish you all a great day. And I'm going to stay learning here and listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really, I don't know what to say after this, but thank you. Thank you so much. Shallan, do we have Usu here? We have Ahmed Hafiz. I think we do, right?
Ahmed, you are here? Yes, I think.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Usu, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Actually, I'm stuck in jam still because I'm in my car. Let me share my video as well.
Okay, good.
I hope that you're hearing me clearly now.
I can hear you clearly. So let me introduce you first because people have.
Wait, Amro. Safe driving is first.
Well, I wouldn't pledge that I have an AI driving my car for me while I talk to you, but definitely I can do both now. This is some of the NI, the natural intelligence.
Exactly, exactly. But also, I have prepared an entrance for you, so please don't interrupt.
Okay, I'm not ruining it.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, he's a renewable energy engineer and a political researcher. I mean, and put under political like a couple of red lines. Yeah. So, I mean, Ahmed Hafiz is actually, because of his political background, actually he's the guy who's making all of what we're doing now is legal. So, I mean, if Ahmed Hafiz wasn't with us, we would have a lot of troubles. So thank you for being here, and because now we are sure that the government is with us. So, so yeah, and also he's a climate activist, which we need to talk about a little bit. And also he's a Forbes featured entrepreneur, and this is something I really admire because this entrepreneurship inside of him I really admire. So he's Ahmed Hafiz, well known for Usu. So please help me and welcome the great Ahmed Hafiz. Yeah. A lot of people.
Oh my God. Well, thank you very much. Don't try to overwhelm me. I'm already overwhelmed. Thank you very much for the love.
Thank you.
But I really want to apologize for the audience. I should have been somewhere with a desk, but you can use generative AI to put me where you want me to be.
That's the first application we could do. Yes.
Yeah, so definitely I'd make use of that, because I am here hot in traffic because we had some rain in Egypt, and people with long commute will understand and relate definitely today.
I'm stuck in my office. Don't worry.
Me too.
Okay, well, that's definitely relevant to some extent. Okay, thank you very much, Amr, for the introduction. As Amr said, my name is Ahmed Hafiz Usu. I'm now responsible for the FDI and R&D in the presidential initiative IBDA for localizing and boosting the industrial sector in Egypt. It's a presidential-backed initiative and a company that is aiming to revolutionize the game of industry in Egypt.
This is great. I don't want to interrupt you, but the first thing is that I want you, after you introduce yourself, just tell us about your previous success in the last project you were working on with Shallan. So I'm really curious about this. So yeah.
Okay. Well, if my partner in tech, Shallan, would allow me, I'd just do some priming about it, but I would not disclose everything.
Okay.
Just give me the green light.
This is very confidential.
Oh my God, that's confidential.
Well,
you didn't tell me about this. If I knew it was confidential, I wouldn't let him in. So I wouldn't let Shallan in. I would let you alone. So.
Okay. You may tease Shallan as far as you want. You may not let him in, but I will be the one who is not letting you out. Careful around my partner, man. So again, I'm glad that we had this space, but I really want to share so many interesting things about AI with you. I'm really glad that I have this floor to share my insights. Coming from, I would say, not a very, very technical background, but it's definitely the political background that I'm here to talk about. Actually, when we talk about AI in general, we talk about governments, and because this is very trendy, this is very fast, and this cycle of civilization of us humans and the developments that we are making is getting way more rapid than we can actually comprehend. And now we are here talking about more or less the theory of change itself, because maybe 100 years ago, people would be still fantasizing about maybe driving around in a better vehicle. Maybe they would be still fantasizing about very, very minimal advances in comparison to what we are discussing here right now. So let us draw a little bit more of relation between what was the shape of the human societies back then, and how is our society being shaped by AI and the new technologies on release right now. So maybe like 1,000 years ago, our communities around the world, regardless where they are, they had this person who is just, you can say that he has a superpower. This is where the ruler goes. This is where the normal people goes. This is where everyone goes if they want to do something beyond their capabilities. I'm talking here about like wizards. I'm talking here about fortune tellers who can tell you the future, who can assist you to do something really magical. But if you can draw this correlation on the persons and the personas that we have in our society today, you won't find anyone but a software engineer or an AI expert to fit this gap of a wizard, because he is the one, or this technical wizard that we call now a digital expert or a digital dystopian, if we can say. He is the only one who is capable to fill this gap of the wizard, the superhero, or the supernatural person in the room. So this is why we should all admire your interest in pursuing such a talk or pursuing such a career one day, inshallah. So my brothers and sisters, now we are, I want this to be a dialogue, not a monologue, but I'd leave the floor for Amr for some questions, but this is an opening remark that I really wanted to share with you, because what we're doing now is really important. It's sharing the knowledge and also not being very, very tactical when it comes to it. We want to zoom out a little bit and see the strategic dimension. And I'm here ready to talk about governments. I'm ready to talk about the strategies that has been launched since 2017. from the pioneers of AI in the world. And yes, I'm here to share more. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Usu. So, well, because we are Egyptians, so I have to go to my country and be like, because we had first of all, we had Robert at the beginning. He was talking about the global shift, and then we had Yusuf speaking about the technology itself. But now I want you to emphasize more about where Egypt is. Where is the local market now? Because some of our audience, like watching us from all the platforms now, most of them are Egyptians. So they're really curious about, because a lot of them, when they try to get into college, they say, no, don't pursue artificial intelligence because it has nothing. I mean, it's going to come maybe 5, 10, 20 years after. So what do you think about this? And how do you think Egypt is actually going in the right steps?
Well, okay. For this to be very informative, I'd point out to some documents for the audience, for them to review it. It's not only about the topic itself, but it's all about what are we really doing in Egypt, okay? So first of all, I know that many people don't know what is AI talking about, and maybe you have this resistance with your families, with your friends, and if you are trying to pursue something really different, you're going to be probably very, very hardly opposed because you're not going mainstream. And again, I'm here to condemn not going, not pursuing your dreams of being an AI engineer in Egypt, because again, I'll quote Robert, you should be proudly local, but also proudly global. And this is a huge growing market everywhere in the world, not only in Egypt. But again, to the government, actually, Egypt is one of the pioneers for AI strategies in the MENA region, and we, among only 7 countries, are the countries in the whole MENA region that have launched an accessible national strategy for AI. We are talking about business ethics. We are talking about KPIs for education and enablement for the technician software engineers, for people who are willing to delve into this very challenging area and also very competitive area worldwide right now. So no, Egypt is not leaving this behind. We're not obsolete. We're not leaving it at space, but it's also not the thing that is mainstream. And I know that many of the AI engineers don't know and did not read the AI strategy of Egypt anyway. So this is something that I'd love to point you to go review it, because in Egypt, what's going on right now is a huge leap in the form of public and private partnerships, PPP, and this is going to be the key economic driver of all the sectors in Egypt in the next 20 years, I'd say. So about AI, it's definitely something that is involved. We are now doing the legislative sandboxes for a lot of the technologies that are pioneering, because now we know that it's not robust. If I told you, Amr, or any of the AI experts in the room, can you predict what is the best law that can govern the entities working in AI in a certain country? You probably would get that wrong. And this is why the whole idea is getting introduced now, which is the sandbox. We are trying to sandbox it. We tell the developers and the engineers, okay, you have this vertical, go work on it and show me the results. And it's going to be more result-based and agile than it was with normal projects. Usually when it comes to government, things are more like a top-down approach. You have a strategy for something, then you go see somebody who can do it, then you can...
Waterfall mindset.
Yes, but now, through the legislative sandboxes that we are doing among with the parliament, among with the government and the different entities like the Ministry of Communication and the Ministry, and also for Homeland Security, definitely they are involved in it. And the whole thing about it is we are trying to be agile. And when it comes to AI, something that is very, very rapid in its development cycle and development nature, it's hard for us to say, hey, this is the law that's going to govern it, because we don't know it yet. And we are trying to be agile by introducing this idea of sandboxes. Maybe we, as Shallan, I know he has a fintech background. you saw the fintech sandbox that is being currently introduced.
Yes.
Late or early, but now it's the right time for people to start doing something that is good for the country. So again, I would love to share one of my concerns about AI in general, and this is a question that was already directed to Yusuf. How are you seeing this as a challenge? What is the pitfalls of using ChatGPT or generative AI in general? And I guess one of the key points here is I want all my fellow engineers and brothers and sisters who are new to this field to use AI in general as an enablement tool. You know, if you are the best writer in the world, if you are Paulo Coelho and you're starting to write a new novel, you may have this writer block in the beginning. You are very talented already. We know that you have the capability to write a great novel, but you may have this writer's block. AI this is the very sweet spot in my definition for how to use AI and what is the government of the whole process between us and the AI. It's not that, don't use AI as a wheelchair, a creative wheelchair. So don't unlock your mind to just be a good prompt engineer, and actually unlock your mind to be a good utilizer of this enablement tool. Use AI as an empowering tool, like a third hand, like a third mind, like an extra processing capability, not as the very first layer you go to. And I quote Yusuf when he said, if ChatGPT is down and I might have some hard time debugging or writing something from the scratch. And actually, it raises a concern from somebody with a security background like I do. It's a state of governance. In the end, you don't own OpenAI, you don't own ChatGPT or all the other language models or all the other generative AI models. And this is a huge thing. You know that we have tension in the Middle East. You know that in the end, it's going to be business. In the end, it's going to be economics. But again,
that's why Ahmed, some of countries like Italy closed and blocked ChatGPT and other AI generative websites like Bard and ChatGPT.
Yes, definitely. I thank you very much for mentioning this example, because I was going to also reflect on several strategies that I've seen being published in the world since 2017. Maybe as far as I can remember, it was Finland that launched the very first national AI strategy in 2017. Yes. So you can see how people are thinking about it, but now it's also something that can be weaponized. So this is why we have to have sovereignty over on our own thoughts, on our own workflows, and not to really replace our own workflows with the AIs. We should boost our workflow and already mental algorithms to utilize the power of AI, but in a way that is replicable, that is already self-sustaining, that if ChatGPT is not here, you can still do your work at 100% capability. So actually, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is this behavioral shift. Are you willing to relearn to work? Are you willing to relearn to think? Are you willing to relearn to learn? This is the question that I introduced to the general masses, not only AI engineers. You have to rethink how are you using this powerful tool, because it may corrupt you. If I gave a Lamborghini to a 9-year-old child and told him, hey, you can go with it wherever you were, he'd probably crash it and kill himself. And this is exactly why the national strategies are being developed. We are trying to protect our own citizens from the implications of such a rapid and, how can I say, a very full-fledged technology that can enable them, but it can also spoil them to an extent that they are no longer having a true value proposition to the global value chain. And
I understand what you're saying, but I want to get back to a basic point where because of I'm in the field of teaching artificial intelligence and data science, so I'm coming from an academic background. So a lot of people ask me this question. They tell me it's very basic, but we have to touch upon this. They say I'm a photographer, I'm a video editor or whatever, and do you think learning AI is going to help me accelerate my job? So what I think is that learning artificial intelligence as a topic, like you know how to build the code, how to build the neural networks, and how to do the training and testing and all these things, for them is very useless. This is what I think. Some people correct me if I'm wrong, but I think learning the topic itself for you is useless. The thing is, you have to understand all the tools related to your type of work that is generated by artificial intelligence, to keeping yourself with the trend of AI and learning the tools and tuning your mind, not tuning the model itself. So this is my answer. So what do you think about this?
I definitely commend this, because this is exactly what I've been trying to deliver. You coming from an academic background, definitely you put it the right way. I'd also may complement it with a mental image, because I like mental things. I'm an engineer, and I'm also a mechanical engineer, by the way. And you can imagine, yeah, you can imagine. You can imagine, like, you have a farm, and in this farm you need to plant a certain crop. So AI can assist you to make a perfect layout for optimizing crop yield. Maybe AI can optimize when is the cycles of actually irrigating the land and when is the cycle for harvest. But AI would never accelerate the growth time of the yield of the crop. It's just the crop as it is. It may not be boosted by the AI itself. AI can do things in a fast way, but the core value is going to take time to develop. It can help you assist and accelerate your own growth, but the growth should be internal, not on the AI model. This is what we are talking about here. Mm-hmm. The growth happens in the soil, not in the computer code that runs the farm.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, having said that, by you makes me more confident when I deliver this answer to the people, because sometimes when I deliver this, they say, but I mean, we got a lot of jobs over there that are waiting for us. Why are you stopping? I'm not stopping you. If you're willing to do a career shift, then okay, go learn this. But if you're not willing, you're willing to be a photographer. So, I mean, definitely I would suggest that you learn the tools, not the topic itself. So yeah. Shallan, do you have any comments on
I need to move the conversation to renewable energy a little bit. Yes. So I need to ask you, Ahmed, you know I'm a big fan of you. So tell me how do you oversee AI transforming the renewable energy sector in the next decade, and especially make the answer for the Middle East in general and Egypt especially?
Okay, so this is something that is not really yet announced on social media, but I'm currently working on my startup Hyperly. Hyperly is an actually AI-enabled technology platform aiming to accelerate the diffusion of renewables on grids. So this is going to happen through two main things. Actually analyzing the data from the solar atlas and wind atlas, and then analyzing the market for the products that is available, like solar panels, small to mid-sized wind turbines, and having all this in one place as an expert system. It can recommend and make preliminary analysis and feasibility studies for small to mid business owners, and also, like, it's a B2B model and a B2B2C model. And this is one way I see AI is transforming the game, because usually this process usually takes around 2 to 3 months, but now with AI you can do it in an application that the user will only have to do a pinpoint. I can pinpoint it, and then the AI is going to take it from that point. So this is going to get us
for a smart product manager.
Definitely on my list.
Okay.
And And but you know, I work with you enough now that yeah. So again, renewable energy is a very, very data-driven science. It's related to forecasting to a great extent. It's related to data analysis to a great extent. It's related to the market dynamics to a great extent. And it's also related to a closed feedback loop of monitoring, evaluating, and reassessing the systems that are already deployed on the grid. And for you to know something about the industry of power in general, it's an instantaneous thing. The amount of power on grid, it has to be equal to the amount of power generated at the stations at every instance of time. So now we're talking about timetables, but it should be 100% mirroring to the supply and demand. And this is very, very tricky. And actually, a lot of research, a lot of literature that you're going to find is on how to simulate the variables in a multi-variable environment like power, because you have different power stations, you have different power generation capabilities in different places, you have different power load curves in every place. People may behave differently in everywhere. Some people may behave in a different manner. So it's a lot of prediction, reprediction, a measure, predict thing. And again, it's what it takes to actually, you know, the cycle very well, and now you know where AI should be very, very helpful. As I told you, it's if I was just an engineer, I'd take 2 months at least to analyze one site. But now I can enable 100 users to do it simultaneously on our server or on our application. And if we talk about renewable energy, we talk about a market worth $2 trillion by 2030. 2 trillion, imagine the number.
Wow.
And it's a transition that is backed also by the governments. Now in Egypt, maybe we have the 2030 vision. Now Egypt is aiming to have 42% of the power on grid powered by renewables. And maybe if you look at Saudi Arabia, also a regional leader in this field, they are aiming to have 50% of the power on grid coming from renewables. And again, this is Saudi Arabia, one of the world's biggest fossil fuel exporters. And so this transition, because it is powered by AI, now we can really dream big on a governmental level and on a B2B level and a B2G level. And this is one of the basics of the design thinking thing that we've been talking about. Think about it as a car that you should know how to drive, but not necessarily. I'm not the best AI engineer in town to make this solution. I just know how to delegate it or how to use the tools that use already AI. So again, to Amir's point, it's not having all the knowledge behind the AI model, but it's just knowing how to use the tools in a proper way that is revenue generating and value creating to the market.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I mean, I want to get back for just one other question about artificial intelligence. I mean, in a very, very short answer, do you convince people to actually go into the field of artificial intelligence and learn it? Like if I'm undergrad, because most of our audience now is very is around 18-year-old and all that things. So if they are just graduating from high school and they want to enter a school, so do you think that artificial intelligence is actually the scope to go in, or you tell them just to pursue whatever you want?
I definitely tell them to follow Amr on social media.
I'm not taking this. I'm not taking it taking it personal. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say is that I want to get the answer. You know the answer I'm willing to have from you, but this is not. I mean, I'm letting you. I'm very democratic, so you know.
Well, okay, I'll take it. Egypt is very democratic anyway, and now I'm totally convinced that yes, AI is a beautiful thing to learn, as long as you find it resonating with your inner call, because anything in the world that you will do should be hard, should be challenging, This is you living a life of purpose. If you are doing something that is challenging for you, if you are doing something that is tackling real world problems all the time, just find the mission for yourself. You will find it, and don't be very, very tenacious about when are you going to find it. Don't scream around and say, hey, I don't have my goal. It's an eternal journey. The whole goal is in the journey, not the destination. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the pitfalls, enjoy the uprisings, enjoy the astounding success and the devastating failures. This is life. Hasta la vista. Just live it. And yeah, I know that I'd love to face your beautiful audience one day and talk to them more about it. But I'd leave the floor for the other speakers you have on the agenda. And I'd love to thank you very much for the floor. And yes,
well, I guess that we have a question here from Abdul Hilal. Okay, so one of the audience here would like to face you. So if you can actually open your camera and your mic, Abdul.
I think no, he doesn't have. He just he thought he's saying hi. So this is no. So
okay.
Yeah. So first of all, well, also we actually invited you to AI Catalyst last time, but you weren't in Egypt, right? Isn't that true, Shallan?
Yeah, that's true. But he traveled, surprised us and traveled to America.
You were a really good ally with us. You helped us get the stage.
There's no plan. There's no, don't worry. There's no plan.
Yes, exactly. So yeah. So also, I mean, I'm really excited that we could do a lot of versions together of this, and maybe next time it could be offline, so you could be on stage and letting people know about you more. So of course, this is not the last event together, and I really would love to thank you so much for your words and for all the governmental aspects you brought to us. And thank you so much.
Thank you. So you make me the adrenaline go high, and that's like normal.
You're protecting Shallan now, so I can't do anything to him after this. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been an honor to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much. So yeah, before we go to our final speaker, Hamza, I don't know. Hamza, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here. So before we go to Hamza, I just want to emphasize on something. At the end of this event, we will send a link in the chat. So this link could help you get the certificate that you have already attended this event. So you just at the end of the event, if you just stayed until the end, just fill this registration form. You just put your email, put your name, the way you like it to be written on the certificate, and you're gonna have it at the end of this event. So this is something I just wanted to let all the audience know about this. And also, if you're following this from other social media platforms on Facebook, so you could do the same, because we're gonna put the link in all the platforms. So well, first of all, I would like to introduce the guy who knows quantum computing better than anyone else. So, I mean, quantum computing was first, for me, quantum computing was a word that I did not understand. And actually, Hamza is the only speaker from this event who was actually with us in the last event in AI Catalyst. You actually had this hat over your head. So if you have it, just bring it, because the audience would recognize you better.
I will try to bring it.
So yeah, so he's an active member of quantum computing community at IBM, and he's the founder of a company that I find it very hard to pronounce. It's called Q Schillinger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yes, it's exactly.
Yeah, I let Hamza teach me how to pronounce it early in the morning, because I was saying, just say it, I repeat it after you, so I make sure I can say it correctly in the event. So
that's correct.
And yeah, you were a speaker with us at AI Catalyst at Nile University. So thank you so much for the second time Hamza is with us. So Hamza, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you for this event. And also, I would like to thank all the speakers, Robert, Yusuf, or Ahmed. They did really well, and I enjoyed their talks. So yeah.
So yeah, before we go into the questions, we want to know a little bit about you, about your success, about your book. I mean, you have to talk about your book. I mean, we're bringing you here to talk about your book. So congratulations, first of all, for your publications.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much.
Let me start
you can go.
the questions. So can you tell me, Hamza, about your role in the quantum community at IBM and what
Actually,
motivated
in IBM, I'm just like a Qiskit advocate, IBM Quantum Qiskit advocate. This is like a volunteering position in Qiskit community. Qiskit is the software for quantum computing in IBM, for the quantum in IBM. So yeah, I'm a Qiskit advocate. This is the position.
Great.
So yeah, before we go into the topic, just tell us about a little bit about you, about your success, and briefly, who's Hamza?
Okay. Actually, I'm graduated 4 months ago. Okay, from from computer science.
Nice.
I graduated 4 months ago. I had a bachelor degree in computer science in Egypt, and also I had also from this bachelor. Okay. Actually, before joining, this is a story that I like to tell any event. Before joining the university, I had a coma for 6 months, and I lose 2 years before joining, 2 years from the school before joining the university. And it was really hard for me, and it was a big health issue. So it was also really hard to get my power again to join the university. And I was joining actually the medicine school, but I changed my plan and I joined the computer science school. I was like had like the big dream to help people, to make them like healthy like that, but I couldn't because some health issues. So I joined the computer science school.
Medicine and computer science. You are Azhar. That's right.
Yeah. No.
He was following the trend.
I changed from math to study like chemistry, to study from chemistry to study math and like that. So I joined the computer science school, and then the first year I had the always like something like someone telling me what you are going to do to be a unique person. Are you going to do like something in the blue ocean area or in the red ocean area? The blue ocean area is empty places, so you're gonna to be like a unique person, or the red ocean. And here comes what is the field that nobody in, or not nobody in, but few people in. So I heard about quantum computing, and from then I made some research papers or some articles on LinkedIn. Then I joined courses. I joined IBM quantum courses, and till now in quantum, I have founded my quantum computing school, and or quantum computing business actually, because it was a school. Now it has two sides, in the educational phases and the software application, quantum software application. So yeah, this is like a very brief something like about me.
So Sharon, you want to go first?
Yeah, can you provide some example for real world applications where quantum computing and machine learning already making the difference by the quantum computing?
But first, I want to understand what is quantum computing. I mean, I just told Yusuf about this. That
what is the quantum computing for
9-year-old? Actually, this is the way I learned.
And provide some examples for real-world applications.
Yeah, it's actually what is quantum computing. It's really not easy to explain it in this session, like the whole idea. But I will explain like a trivial idea, because the trivial idea, it makes us like understand the field.
Go ahead.
So yeah, you know, when you have like a light bulb, something like that, okay, and a candle, okay, candle making light and also the light bulb making light, but the mechanism for making light for both of them is different, you know. So when you bring like 1,000 candles, it will not be the same when you bring 1,000 light bulb, okay. Both of them are making light, but the mechanism is different. The same idea in quantum computing and in classical computing. Classical computing, either our phones, our laptops, anything we are using, it's using the classical bits, okay? And quantum is using the quantum mechanics rules to apply the computations or to make a computation, okay? So that the computation and the power for quantum computing is totally different from the classical, okay? It's much faster, it's much powerful. This is a very, very trivial idea about like what is quantum in general, okay? As I told you, it's using the quantum mechanics rules to make computations.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, that's so yeah. I have a question here. Since I'm coming from a machine learning background and you're coming from a quantum computing background, and both fields now are interfered together. So please tell me the relationship between machine learning and quantum computing, and how machine learning really enhanced the field of quantum computing.
Okay, actually, quantum is not a new technology or something like that. It's a big umbrella that have many fields inside it. One of them is machine learning, okay? And actually, there was a report like 3 months ago. It says that machine learning in quantum computing will have by 2023 35% of the industry. 35% of the industry will be in the quantum machine learning field. So machine learning is making, our AI in general is making the thing intelligence, okay? And quantum computing is the tool that we are running the applications, and these applications will be in the intelligent form. You understand my idea? So quantum computing is a new hardware that we are running intelligent techniques or intelligent methods on them.
So the thing is, it's the reverse. So what I said now is the reverse, because now machine learning hasn't helped the field of quantum computing, but rather quantum computing actually made the hardware stronger and could actually process a hard machine learning model.
Exactly, and that's why I told you that machine learning, it will be the first trend in quantum, because the biggest thing, it will be really, really useful to use quantum computing is machine learning, because it will make it much faster and much intelligent and much bigger and like that. You got the idea?
Yes, I understand. So yeah, Shallan, you go.
Okay, based on this, how do you see the intersection of quantum computing and machine learning shaping the future of the technology and the computing overall?
In general, I just would like to say that till now there is no a real application in the market for quantum, like a real quantum application running on quantum computing, because most of the applications are under research in this field. It's really challenging field. It's not an easy field. So there are some other applications, but on simulators or not like not in the user hand. Okay, but I made a quantum application before with in the medicine field with the quantum machine learning models and like that, but it's not running on a real quantum computer. Okay, so for example, there are many companies using the quantum, or sorry, they're using machine learning in quantum computing a lot. For example, like IBM has had like 1,050 research paper, okay, 1,050 research on quantum computing in general, okay.
Wow.
50% of these research papers are in the quantum machine learning field. So imagine the great impact of machine learning on these companies. And this is just one example of the company. IBM.
Yeah, I know. IBM has been a key player in advancing AI technology.
It's the leading company. It's the leading company.
It's a leading company, yes. And okay, how do you see AI evolving in the coming years, and what
especially in IBM
do you think IBM will play in that evolutions and that impact on the world?
In quantum or in general, like IBM
in quantum especially.
I told you like 5 minutes ago that by 2023, machine learning will have 35% of the industry in quantum computing.
Wow.
So let's say 50%. Okay. So imagine 35 in just one field, and all the other fields at the rest of the percentage. You imagine that? This is the future of machine learning with quantum computing. It's really huge. And I should advise all people to learn the basics of quantum and intersect between the basics of machine learning and quantum, because it will change their mind. It will change their minds and their perspective to understand machine learning from now. Because when you learn just machine learning,
Can you give us more information? How does IPM foster collaboration within the quantum community and with other organizations or researchers like you?
emphasize the question again, like what, for example?
Okay, how IPM can help the researcher and the other organizations to involve it or to collaborate in
they providing
foster collaboration, if you mean.
They are providing the most powerful quantum hardware. That's why most of the people, they are using IBM quantum hardware to running their applications on, to make a research.
I think some of this provided in free plan to help us to
free plan, but actually
like Watson, something called Watson IBM is actually something, but it's not free. It's not free.
I don't know. I don't know.
No. IBM
I see some plans for to help startups and some plans to help students and some. I don't know. I'm not sure.
In quantum, IBM has a platform called IBM Quantum Experience. Okay.
Yes.
It's for free. You can simulate some problems on it. But actually, that was 1 year ago. Now IBM has a new regulation that Egypt can't access their quantum computing. So Egypt, Russia, China, big countries. But I don't know why. But there is a regulation now that we can't use.
What is also
it's just about IBM. It's just about IBM. But there are many countries. IBM. There are really many.
Hamza, I really want to get back to you a little bit. Not just quantum computing and not machine learning. I just want to get back to you because having the fact that you just graduated a couple of months ago, and look what you've done. You worked with IBM. You started your own company. And then provided a school. And then you published a book a couple of days ago. And then, I mean, all of these things you did, and you are still an undergrad. So you're such an inspiring person, which I really, really admire. And I mean, in fact, I did not know that you just graduated. I thought you're older than this. So having the fact that you just graduated a couple of months ago and you did all of this. So tell me, how did you do this? I mean, I can't find a question.
Our next Schrödinger, inshallah.
Yes, I can't find a question to ask, but how did you do this?
I think the connections is
interrupted. Hamza, we lost Hamza.
I lost the question. Say the question again.
I'm saying to Amr, we have our next Schrödinger, inshallah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, what I was saying, the question was about your success. I mean, you've done an extraordinary job since you just graduated a couple of months ago. In fact, I thought that you're older than this, but having the fact that you just graduated a couple of months ago, you published a book, you did a company, you made a school, and you're working with IBM, and now you're with me in an interview, which is something big. So, I mean, how did you do all of this? I mean, you're a very inspiring person, so people would like to know, if I want to be the next Hamza Kamel, what steps should I follow?
It's just having passion and be flexible, and like the passion is the something that will make you like a machine. I don't know what to say, but some people, they ask me in the school and like that, what is the best time to study? And I said, like, there is no best time to study. There is a passion. When you have a passion, you will study at the morning, at night, anytime. So it's the passion, and it's like to have a vision, not a goal. Vision is the vision is not a place to change it. Okay, the goals are changing a lot. So I can have goals like 10 goals today. I can have goals for 5 years, for 10 years, for 2 years. But it could be removed, or it could be I can have like more goals. But the vision is one. The vision for me is helping people make a real impact. And when you are saying in our religion is تعمير الأرض, you know, تعمير الأرض in any shape, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, having passion, being flexible, not just having the experience in quantum or like that. It's just a field that I'm in, but I can change it later. It's not a problem. It's just being flexible. This is really, really, really important skills.
This is awesome, and I mean, it's such an extraordinary time to spend with you, Hamza. Thank you. Your talk and everything you did is really inspiring. I mean, if you want to leave the audience with just some advice about becoming not just from the perspective of being successful in all these things, but entering the quantum computing industry, and then entering any industry but becoming the best at this industry. So what advice would you give our audience?
Don't just get enough from having ideas. Work on it. Because I had this idea in the first year in university about quantum computing. If I just dream about it, nothing will happen. I worked a lot. I really worked a lot to convert this idea to a real application, or a real application with the simulators on quantum in my graduation project, and having 8 research papers. And I didn't just have a one book. I have 3 books actually. This was just one of them that I shared on social media. Wow. So like from an idea, a simple idea, to have to learn quantum, to having an application, to having like many research papers about this field, you know, to convert the idea to something big, it's not easy. So don't just get enough from an idea, work on it, change it to something real that really impacts the people.
This is great. I mean, Shallan, do you have any final comments about this?
Thank you so much, Hamza, and nice to meet you, and I'm pleasure
Nice to meet you.
that's the second time for you, Hamza, with us, and then
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have hundreds of times together.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you so much, Hamza. So now we are moving to our final speaker of the day. I mean, it's so sad that the day just ended really quickly, but the quality of the speakers we have today is really amazing and extraordinary.
Really impressive.
I mean, I did not expect that greatness. I mean, as we say, so yeah. So we have, I mean, we need to start talking about money, because, some people have this misconception of that money is not everything. But in fact, money is everything. I mean, we're working to have money. I mean, if you're just working for the passion is not going to get you bread. So, I mean, you have to have, if the thing that you're working on is not bringing you money, you're going to stop. If you're telling me that you have passion and you love it, you're going to hate it if you don't bring money out of it. So.
You have a lot of money, by the way.
Who? Speaking of money, so we have the visionary owner of Ibn Sina Training Academy. She's the CEO of FG Learn, and she's the founder of FG Production Studio. We have the great Maysam Magdi. Hello, Maysam.
Hello, Amr. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing very good. So speaking of freelancing industry, but before we get into the freelancing industry, I mean, I've been following you for now a long time, and a lot of audience here are actually coming from Maysam. So they actually, some of our audience would like to know more about you and about your previous success. So if you could just share it with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. First, let me send my deep condolences to all Muslim world for what's happening in the occupied lands right now, Palestine. As we're talking now, it's very ironically that we are discussing if artificial intelligence is going to replace mankind while we have our sisters and brothers are being killed. So I don't want to get emotional with this, but we hope things get better. And I think that a lot of freelancers are watching us right now. So I know that we are helpless. We cannot do anything, but at least if you have a word, if you are a copywriter, if you are a voiceover, if you are a motion graphics, just do anything to spread the word and trying to stand to the right side of the history.
Thank you so much for saying this, Mason. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Well, actually, I'm a psychiatrist. I studied medical school, and actually, I was not happy. You know, anyone I talk with, stating that I'm not happy being a doctor. It's like, what? I mean, people do a lot of effort to get into medical school, and they pay a lot of time, a lot of money just to be a doctor. So, and also being a psychiatrist, this is like, you know, an elite specialty in medicine. Well, I've been struggling with this story, and I've been telling this story a lot. But after this, I moved to business because after this, I became a freelancer. I worked as a medical translator. And speaking of artificial intelligence, I'm gonna tell you a very funny story about artificial intelligence in translation. When I started medical translations, like, you know, 10 years ago, and all translators used to look at us, man, you are lucky. We have been translating using pen and a paper and the large dictionaries, and you just type the word in Google and you get it translated. And we were like, okay. After this, there was a trend of cat tools. They are programs for translation. They depend on your translation memory. So the more input you put into the memory, so you get your next file. It could be translated like 70 or 80% because there is similar text. Well, after this, there was the machine translation era. And you put a lot of data, like hundreds of and thousands of words, and they are translated in 5 minutes. We got some people who were fighting artificial intelligence and just said, well, let's go and corrupt Google. Let's put bad translation into Google, so people would think we'll always need human translation. And guess what? Now in the market, that most required translators who master machine translation post editing techniques.
Wow.
So you can never fight artificial intelligence, by the way. You can never fight it. So and after this, I built Ibn Sina Training Academy, and academy dedicated for teaching people how to become freelancers. And now we are teaching people how to become AI freelancers, because we know there's no way out. Actually, that happened before, when electricity was invented. People thought like workers are going to stay at home and electricity is going to do everything. But actually, large businesses has been made because electricity was invented. Let's take a look at social media marketing. Before, you know, large businesses could make a TV ad or a banner in the street, which is very expensive, by the way. Right now, using social media marketing, you can just with $20 run an ad for small businesses, and it can get you customers, and you can have like double ROI.
Yes.
So people are always afraid of technology, but technology, I don't think it can replace mankind. In a way, it can replace duplication. It can replace technical work, but it can never replace brain work. I mean, يعني how can you, for example, if you can ask a programmer right now, can you program an application in 5 minutes? He will tell you, yes, I can do this. I can program an application using the codes from ChatGPT. In 5 minutes, I can have a real application.
Exactly.
But what is the business concept of this application? What is the solution this application is giving to your customer? That cannot be automated, because
That's our rule as a product managers.
yes, exactly. So I mean, there has to be a human factor in everything.
Human guide.
Yes,
But,
yes.
but the thing is actually, because I'm coming from a background where I studied artificial intelligence. Actually, artificial intelligence started to get in the way of creativity. I mean,
Yes.
AI just did this movie called Spring, and artificial intelligence is giving you some. I mean, you could ask ChatGPT for some ideas about. You could tell them a problem, and ChatGPT could actually take this problem and pre-process this problem and tell you and get some insights out of it and tell you what to do. So,
Well, Amr, this is a problematic question, because Who asked ChatGPT to give him a script about the subject?
I got it. Yes.
So there must be a human. There must be, and by the way, there are a lot of organizations. They are adopting limiting AI because let's take it to the logic. If you have a business and I have a business and I would like to automate everything because it's salaries reduction, cost reduction, and a lot of things, and everything is going like sharp and stuff like that. But let's take it to a higher level. If you have a country and everything is automated, so who are your customers? Everyone is broke, everyone is unemployed, and they cannot sell products. They cannot even sell food. So I mean, if we can discuss this on the economic status or economic level, this is like using a forbidden war bomb or something like that. I mean, it has to have a limitation. Okay, let's talk about numbers. If you dig deep into Upwork, which is one of the most freelancing platforms, you can have real numbers on some researches they have made, and freelancers reported since the appearance of Bard and ChatGPT, actually they have increased their income and tasks are being increased, but in a different way. So, in talking about translation, because I was a translator, according to WHO World Health Organization, a translator can only translate 2,000 words daily. Meant for as mental stress, he cannot handle any more than this. Right now, using machine translation, which is of course developed by AI, he can post edit up to 20,000 words daily. So you are talking about cost reduction for companies, and you are talking about stress reduction for the freelancer, and actually more income comparing 2,000 with 20,000. So this is like working smarter, not harder. So we
Yes.
are supporting the usage of AI tools, but I always guide freelancers to start taking some strategic careers, because the executive careers, it's easily replaced by AI.
Yeah, I just read that story by there is an owner of a factory in United Arab Emirates, and they said that we used to have, like a couple of years ago, we used to have 10,000 workers, but we replaced all the 10,000 workers with 500 robots. So and this is something that actually, to some people, they may think that, well, artificial intelligence is replacing, artificial intelligence taking everybody's jobs. But what I think is, how many people did actually go into the design and the maintenance and the software and the hardware of these 500 robots? So if you're thinking, so now we're not thinking of taking a job out of somebody, we're thinking of redirection. So
Yes.
am I right about this? So it's a redirection, more like a job taker.
Yes. Well, because I'm a career coach, I always people always talk to me about the right job and how could I find my black box in matching this with my white box and stuff like that. We always play the game of career diamond model, which connects the self-exploration with market exploration. So what happened when social media marketing had rise up like now? So there is no ads, TV ads like before. There's no banners as like before, but we had a new group of job opportunities like media buyers, creative directors, designers, motion graphics. So when something is off, there is new blue ocean is made by artificial intelligence. So we have to teach people or educate people that there is no stop. I mean, you will work, there's always job opportunity, but you have to be flexible and you have to be agile so you can move from one career to another and learn the trends, because artificial intelligence is coming and mastering, and yes, it will replace a lot of jobs, this is a fact, but it will not make everyone jobless. It
Yes.
will make the unsmart jobless. We can say that.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So Shallan, do you have any comments or questions? Yes.
Yes, I have a question in freelance.
Yes.
So, some of unique challenge freelancers face especially in the AI industry, and how can they be addressed?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last words.
How can they be addressed?
addressed? How can they be addressed? The challenges. How can the challenges be addressed?
Yes.
Okay. According to the industry, like if you are working as social media marketer, so now you can run an
I'm sorry. I'm talking about AI industry.
AI. Well, I'm not an expert in AI industry. I'm a career coach and business owner, so I cannot talk about something that I have not made researches about. So
Okay.
I can talk about how AI can help freelancers.
This is exactly what we mean.
Okay.
Well, there are a lot of AI tools now. Like I talked about translation as machine learning
Yes.
or MTPE. So this will shift the role of the translator because, and as we know that translators, they are localizers. So they localize the translation to the country that is guided to. So using MTPE, like you are talking to a machine, so it gives you the standard Arabic, and after that, the translator has to localize this content into the country that is guided to Syria, Sudan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and. So we use AI just to reduce the time, reduce the stress, and reduce the cost, of course. But still, we need the translator to post edit the translation so it can be approved. I think also that for designing, there are a lot of AI tools that can create the design, but it cannot create the idea. So you have to start studying creative thinking and how you can create new ideas and how you can get to be creative. And by the way, this is teachable to be creative. So you have to start implementing AI tools in your work and not being afraid and do not run away because this is coming. I mean, like in the market, if you can look at
Yes.
Upwork right now, you can see at Upwork that there are AI jobs.
Yes.
And the rates are very different, so do not run away, jump into it, try to learn it, and try to adapt to it because it's coming and it will make you elite in the market.
So being, you want to say something, Sharon?
Yeah. It's a very rapidly industry, and freelancer need to stay current with the latest technology and methodologies.
And by the way, the rise of AI, it's such a lucky thing for freelancers because if you talk about the replaceable jobs, you will find it like it's more like full-time jobs. But if you need someone to create an idea, you will get the freelancer to create the idea, and you will get the AI to execute the idea. So I think AI is really good for freelancers. So I'm supporting using AI for freelancers, of course.
It's a good tool. But now, speaking of freelancing, which is this is your main scoop. So
Yes.
we have some of our audience here who would like to understand the steps and the principles and everything of becoming a freelancer. So because I mean, freelancing, you could be a freelancer at any field. Because saying just I'm a freelancer in a very abstract way is
Yes.
what are you doing with this tool that you're doing? So what are the steps, like in a general way, of becoming a freelancer? Because I have a misconception that might be a misconception, it might be a correct thing, is that freelancers are not actually in depth of any of the fields in the world, because they just know the tools, they know how to get something out of it, and they fine tune it, they give it to the client, and they take money. But they're not experts. If I ask you to do a website for me, you're actually using some tools like WordPress or whatever to
Yes.
design a website and then deliver it to me. It's perfect and it's working, but you're not a web developer. So,
Yes.
so what do you think about this? What's your comment about this?
Well, freelancer is not a
Same.
title. Freelancer is not a title. Freelancer is a mode of work. For example, if you are a project manager in a company and you have like 10 years experience, full time, now you want to be a freelancer. You are a freelance project manager. You are not a freelance designer. So freelancing is a mode of work. It's not a title. And you're not born with this title. I mean, and you are not gifted this title. You explore the industry you can excel in. And this is why when we start the career diamond model with people who are exploring themselves, the first thing we start doing is self-exploration by doing a lot of psychometric tests. 16 personalities, for example. You have to understand who you are. What can you do? what are the talents you're born
I
with?
heard one of your talks about this, and I actually enrolled in it, and I did this test, and I got this.
Yes, great.
It was ENJT. It's
And
very
what did the test suggest for you to work?
That's they said it's you're more like in the leadership scope, so you could be. So the test suggested that I could be like in a position where I give like
You are on track right now. Yes. Good for you.
so
So
yeah.
when someone comes and tells me I want to be a freelancer, I just ask, who are you? Do you know about yourself? Are you aware of your talents? Are you aware of your skills? Because last year or this year, when AI just this year was the rise of Chat GPT and Bard. Everyone was saying, yeah, let's go programming, and it was like a trend. And you can learn programming in 3 months. They say so, but when you ask them, are you a programmer, as personality traits? Actually, no, he's very creative. He could be a creative director and he can get a lot of money out of it.
totally
But the trend in the market was go programming. So we have to stop this, because if you're not comfortable with what you do, if you cannot excel in what you do, you'll be just a freelancer like a lot of freelancers in the market.
But you're gonna
And
love.
this,
You're gonna love. At the end of the day, you're gonna love what's making you money.
I
yes.
think
You're gonna love.
And
what,
by the way,
I think some of
freelancing,
personality
yes.
some of personality don't match with the personality of freelancers like me.
Yeah.
I can't work as a freelancer. I need to go to the office and sit on the desk and open my laptop. I'm not comfortable. I'm not
More of a
comfortable.
typical guy. Okay, so Mason, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you guys, but we have here some questions from the audience, if I may, of course.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So there is Shireen Gamal. She says, how can freelance translators make use of AI apart from MTP?
Well, actually, right now, you can translate some text on ChatGPT, but it's not that accurate as machine translation if it's trained on an industry. For example, if you have machine translation trained on medical translation, so it's gonna be more accurate than ChatGPT, because it's all about the input. So if you have a trained machine on medical translation, you will get it like accurate. It could be like accurate 98% accurate. And the thing with medical translation, medical terminology and medical diseases, and we always have updates and new surgeries and new techniques. So this cannot be covered 100% by machine translation.
Well, actually, from my perspective here, I guess like AI working in the medical field, to be exact, is like I cannot like fathom it because it's very dangerous. You know,
Yes.
we have to have like a very advanced AI to work in the details of the medical field, especially like translating some medical terms or any like diagnosis of any condition or anything like that, and all of the medical field. Advances as well. So you have to
Yes. For example, if I can tell you, the patient, or the word schizophrenia.
Mhm.
This is easily translated, but if I can tell you paranoid schizophrenia
Okay.
or subtypes of schizophrenia, so you have to be really like, I've read about it, I've searched about it. Why is it's called this way, and how can be translated into the different language? And by the way, and as I said before, we do localize. Like if they say, for example, like glaucoma,
Mhm.
which is المياه الزرقاء على العين, when it's translated to Dubai, it's called زراق. So
Mhm.
we do not use modern standard Arabic all the
That's
way
actually
when it comes to,
interesting, you know. So it could be like
yes,
some fatal mistakes in using AI. Okay. So
yes.
do you actually think that we can implement, or what is the percentage of implementing AI in the medical field right now? Based on
AI
my
is,
experience, of course.
AI has been implemented in the medical field from a long time. This is what we call machine translation post editing, but we do not translate. Here we post edit after the machine has translated the text. So we start looking at the medical terminology, edit the medical terminology, edit the facts in the text, edit the Arabic, and localize the content into the country that is going to. As I said, we are localizing medicine. And by the way, there is medical text that is translated to patients, consumers. So you have to translate it in a very simple words, so the patient can be educated if he's taking a decision for a surgery or a procedure. But some medical text is translated to researchers and doctors, so it has to contain sophisticated words. So if you are using a machine that does not understand the type of customer and who is reading this pamphlet or who is reading this research, of course you're not getting an accurate translation, of course.
Perfect. Do you have any questions?
Amr, open your mic if you want to speak. Amr, open your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was speaking. So, speaking of freelancing, we could take like a full day speaking about freelancing, and it's a very, very big industry. So I want you to just tell our audience some final words, give them some advice if they're willing to become freelancers. So just tell them the steps, and also if you have the ability to send us the tests that you actually mentioned in the last event I was attending, so that
Yes.
our audience could actually try to know more about themselves. So yeah.
Okay, first you have to explore yourself, explore your personality traits, because as I think someone said here, I'm sorry, I forgot the name, that you can have traits that is totally opposite from freelancing, so you will fail as a freelancer. You don't have to be a freelancer. I mean, it's not an honor to be a freelancer. You could be a very good full-timer and very good executive, and you don't have to be a freelancer. You could be a business owner. You could be just a part of a company. You could be anything. The most important thing that you do the thing that you are successful in and you are pleased in. So you have to explore yourself. So we use 16 personalities test. And after that, we use another test that is more like career oriented. It's called a Rising test. It will explore more the type of jobs that you can work in. And after this, you start market exploration by connecting the results of the Rising test with the market right now. What is needed? What is the rates? What are the threats? And of course, you have to look for AI in this market. If this market is replaceable, just don't go there. Like, for example, people who are work in typing, I guess typing, of course, is replaceable. A lot of jobs could be replaceable right now. So when you start doing the SWOT analysis for yourself, you have to make sure that AI is not replacing this job, at least in the meantime. Well,
we have to admit it that freelancers are the people who are working from the beach. So we have to, like, you're the guy.
This is not true. Actually, we have some a lot of stresses, and there are a lot of diseases that can freelancers have and full-timers do not have. I mean, like, you leave the company and you forget everything at the company, but actually on freelancing you are living daily with your client. Your client can call you anytime, and you cannot say no to your client, because if you stop working with this client, you don't have money income. So and also in the company you are working one thing, but freelancing you have to have multiple skills. Like, you have to know project management, time management, stress management, anger management also, and you are doing everything. You have to know marketing, sales, how to send a polite email, and a lot of things. But when you are working in the company,
you gotta be addicted to coffee, because you're gonna need them. Don't ask now, because you're gonna know if you're trying to become a freelancer, you have to be addicted to coffee. So
yes, that's true. And I have met a lot of people that stress that messed up their lives totally when they were freelancers, and actually they started full-time jobs. So it's not an honor or a medal to wear to be a freelancer. If you are good, multi-talented, and you can handle your time, and you have self-learning techniques and self-learning passion, because freelancers, they always learn, because it's a very competitive market. You are working with the worldwide is working freelancing, and you are contacting a lot of countries, and everyone is contacting the same company, and it's very competitive market. So you have to develop yourself on a daily basis, actually, and you have to have like hours of developing yourself and the skill you decided to work with. Answering back your question, so after doing the self-exploration with some tests, you have to match this with the market and make sure that this job is not gonna be replaced by AI, and start after this acquiring the skills that professional freelancers nowadays have. Do not compare yourself with a beginner, because as I said, you are putting yourself into a competitive market, so you have to see the professionals where have stopped, so you start beginning with where they have stopped. So I think it needs like 1 year learning journey.
That's perfect. I mean, we could go on and on and on. It's a pleasure to have you, to finally have you. I mean,
Thank
we
you
needed
for
to
having
you
me.
last time, but we couldn't. So, I mean, thank God we could reach you now, and
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed the talk. So, thank you so much, Dr. Mason.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you. So yeah, guys, now we're ending this day with Dr. Mason. So it's really awesome. I want to thank everyone. I think just one of the audience just from the special guests just sent me a message that they just want to say some final words. If they just could do it like in 2 minutes, Mr. Al, can you go? Can you open the microphone now?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Wow. What a great day, Amri. This is amazing. I have heard every single speaker and everyone adds something to the session today. It's really amazing. In fact, I wanna talk about something practical, something I experienced myself. There's different when you talk about AI and machine learning as technical or as academic, but I'm going to talk now about what I experienced personally. They have developed a car here at the mall, but the car has no driver, and you get in, it's in the size of a van, and it will take you around the mall, and the mall here is so big, so it will take you around the mall, stopping every single main stop, and it will allow people to get in and people to get out, and it's a certain hour to operate, and at the end of the day, this car drives itself to a warehouse. So I was talking with some of the people who were installing the route in the first time. And basically, this is a machine learning equipment. It's right in action in the front of me. But what was funny about that, true, it did take a driver job away because there's nobody driving the vehicle. But look how many jobs it did create. Number one, they said that somebody, when it goes back, somebody had to get in and clean the car, to go inside and clean it from all the trash, and if somebody threw a bottle or a can or what have you. Number two, there's somebody in the warehouse have to make sure that this equipment return it back to the warehouse safely, and they cannot inspect the vehicle from hit or damage or anything like that. Number three, somebody has to repair the vehicle in case it need a battery to be charged or it need something related to the tire or what have you. And number four, that the condition of the vehicle itself, if it is valid to work the second morning and to get it ready for the route the second day. So while the elephant in the room, when you start talking about AI and machine learning, basically, generally 90% of the time, people worry about their job. I'm going to lose my job. This is going to hit me hard and I'm going to be without work. And it's not true. It's not true. It's going to be different type of work. It's going to be like you all addressed it earlier. You're going to have to transfer your skill. You're going to have to learn a new skill. You're going to have to operate new skill. X-ray machine in the hospital, for example, the normal, typical worker there working to come in and turn the machine on will not be able to do it anymore. You're going to need somebody to learn and understand how this new machine works. Okay, so there is going to be a lot of work. Compliance, for example, now we're looking at compliance here in the United States. For the first time, we have already finished lawsuit about does robot have rights? Can you, the way you collected the data, and like Yvette was saying earlier, the data could be biased in the hiring process, for example, and it can dismiss you based on your last name or your color or your relation, and you lose an opportunity. So now other people watching the technology come in with a new technology, which is compliance. So there is going to be always work. It's going to be always different type of work, but your job, you're not going to be unemployed. You're going to have to, like you're doing today, have to keep learning and keep improving your knowledge. And the more you learn and the more you know, the more money you're going to make and the more opportunity will be around.
That's the thing that people are interested in. The more money you're gonna make, because guys, it's a learning process. It's something that you should actually go from the beginning of the road. It's not easy. It's not gonna be easy from the beginning. When I first started learning artificial intelligence, I wasn't thinking about making money out of it. I was just thinking maybe I could do this in a much better way than everybody else around me. So as just there's a quote by Will Smith I really like. He said that I don't say I will build the greatest wall that ever been built. I will say I will lay this brick as perfectly as it should be, and there's no brick around will be laid better than this brick. And you do this every single day until you have the best wall. So taking the big goal, minimize it into small chunks, and getting it one by one. That's the step. And yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting, Mr. Asso. If you could, you could keep going.
One quick thing, that the Prime Minister of Singapore, for example, was talking the other day, and he was saying to people they study AI in learning, and he said that this revolution, it will be marching on the shoulder of educator and teacher. So he want to put this in early schooling, so the kids can learn machine learning and this kind of technology coming in early years. So what they found out that they don't have the talent and they don't have the educator, which they can carry on that load. So he said, here you go, we are complaining about possible losing your job, and I have job opening, unlimited number of educators needed. So again, it's once you sharpen your skills and you learn about the subject and you get good at it, you can have an opportunity to make a lot of money. This is a global phenomenon around the world. The whole world will change, and we're going to see a different lifestyle, and we have to adapt to it, we have to change. And I think Robert Newland expressed that early on. Really, he elaborated really well on it. So I think that you're offering people a great opportunity to learn, and I can't thank you enough for that, because you didn't just learn AI and you didn't just understand AI. When I asked you the other day, I said, what was your goal from today's event? What is it that you really want to do? I remember what you said. You said, I just want people to know and learn AI. I want people to know. People are afraid of it. I want them to know it. This is like a second language. If you didn't learn English, you wouldn't be on this call today. If you didn't learn English, you wouldn't be writing a book. If you didn't learn English, you wouldn't be. So this is what it is. It's a second language. You're going to have to learn it. And then you don't give up and you don't feel frustration, and you know, execute and get out of your comfort zone, have a drive and make it happen. I thank you, Amri, very much, and I wish you well. And I'm proud of you. What an event this is. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Al. It's a pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have all the speakers of today. I want to finalize the event with some words, if you just could allow me. At the end of this event, we just sent you the registration form so that you could register in it and put your name the way you want it to be written. And you're going to have a certificate of attending this event. And after having this certificate, you're going to have, if you just mention .by on social media by this certificate, you're going to have 25% discount on all .by workshops and courses to all the attendees who actually attended here. I can't thank you enough. Hope everyone have a great career, and thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Mr. Shallan. Thank you, Maysem. Thank you, Robert. I don't want to forget anyone, but thank you everyone for making this event happen. This is Amr Hilal. I'm the founder of .by Academy. You can find me on social media. Just write Amr Hilal, whether it's LinkedIn or anything else, Facebook, whatever. And so I want to say goodbye and leave you guys there. Goodbye.
Thank you, Amr. It was a very good talk, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for that.